With only one episode left in HBO's The Last of Us, has this been a disappointment or has it successfully done what few others have managed to achieve? Let's talk about it. Good morning, evening, or afternoon. What's up, everybody, and welcome to the XP Podcast, episode 41 for the first week of March 2023. I'm one of your hosts, Mike Z, and joining me, as always, my co-host, the Birdman himself, Logan B.
What is up, everybody? Very exciting week ahead of us, and also, as you probably will notice in our title, whenever this comes out, we will also be doing a weird mix between a normal recording and a live reaction. So, very excited. I probably shouldn't talk for too much because we want to be on time, but pretty exciting week. Have a lot to talk about. So let's get to it. What about you, Mike?
Well, I don't know what people can hear, but I feel absolutely awful. So, sorry if you like my regular voice and this is destroying your ears. Or I guess maybe you don't have to like my regular voice. If you don't, then I don't know what to tell you. Sucks to suck, I guess. How are you feeling?
Me?
No, the other guy I'm on this podcast with.
Oh yeah. Wait for his reaction. Everybody be quiet. I mean, my head hurts a lot. I've been really I think I might be running a fever, but I haven't really checked. So I'm just, I know I don't feel great, but not as bad as Amy. So I'm not gonna throw out the private stuff about that, but just she definitely isn't feeling great. So yeah,
All right.
that's the life of being with someone that works with kids all the time. Being sick all the time, pretty
Or
much.
for me, the life of someone who works with inmates. So.
Yeah.
So we got it on both ends. But all right, man, let's jump right into this one. Like we said, or like Logan said, in the middle of this, we are going to turn to the Capcom live stream reactions. We'll intersperse that with this episode. We'll let you know when that's coming up. So we'll try to make it go over smoothly. It may not. We'll see how it works. But look forward to that. So you get another live reaction from us. People seem to love the first live reaction that we did. So hopefully this one goes over just as smoothly. Anyway, let's jump into the show with the question of the week, as we always do. This is one that Logan wanted to talk about last week, but I said no, so we're talking about it this week, ladies and gentlemen. Logan wants to ask the question, is ray tracing actually worth it? Does it actually make a next or now current gen game playable or better in any regard? And my answer is simply no, it's not worth it.
Yeah, ray tracing is a very weird thing. As much as I do like the way it makes games look at times, but in my opinion, only a few games actually design their game first and foremost for ray tracing, and then mainly people just do it as a second-hand thing. Like, for example, a lot of Ubisoft titles especially use ray tracing as a secondary thing to put in their game. I think the only games I can really think of that they technically have ray tracing in is Far Cry 6 and Watch Dogs Legion. And in my opinion, both of those are very unimpressive and also just kind of tank the performance for what is a little bit of a difference. And I just don't really think ray tracing is really there yet. A lot of
Yeah.
people keep saying like ray tracing is the best of the best. It really changes games completely. But in my opinion, for example, and I know this is a really weird example, but playing like Last of Us Part 1 that just came out recently, the remake and everything, and then compare that to a ray tracing game. This game has literally no ray tracing in it whatsoever. It uses none of that. It uses SSAO and screen space reflections and everything. And it looks, in my opinion, just as good as a ray tracing game, and it's not tanking performance, and it's not ray tracing. Like, I don't know, in my opinion, I think that's more impressive than ray tracing is doing right now. Now, there are games that do a very good job with ray tracing. For example, Metro Exodus has a very impressive ray tracing because that game, first and foremost, was built with ray tracing in mind. Um, and it looks insanely good. And also, I guess Spider-Man too, because Spider-Man they did a really good job of being able to hit performance and add ray tracing, and it looks insanely good with ray tracing on because there's a lot of reflections going on, and it works very well. But for a lot of games, I don't think ray tracing really does anything to it, and it almost seems like now it's like the main standard. Like if it's a next gen game, it has to have ray tracing, and I just don't really think it's worth it.
Well, I think the
I think if
important
a
thing.
game
Sorry.
wants to build it, sorry, but I just want to say real quick, if they want to make a game specifically for ray tracing, for example, like Metro Exodus, then that's fine because they know what performance they want to hit, they know how they want to make it look, and it also in my opinion, that's still one of the most impressive ray tracing games, other than I guess Fortnite too, technically now that you can play on console that actually has good frame rate, good performance, looks insanely good, and has a really respectable respect. Yeah, I can't say it, but it just looks good, on a console. But a lot of games that do these ray tracing, you're taking cuts in performance for what, in my opinion, aren't really worth it. Like, I don't want to play a game in 30 FPS anymore. I'm sorry, but let's be honest here. 30 FPS should die unless it's in an RPG or something like that. I don't think 30 FPS should exist anymore. I think that should have been the yesterday kind of thing, and now we are in current gen. So current gen should be 60, in my opinion. But yeah, what were you gonna say?
Well, I
I
was
just
just
don't think
say
it's worth it.
you dance around it for a little bit and then nailed exactly what I was going to say. And Spider-Man, I think, like you were talking about, got the closest, but I still don't think it's there yet, especially for console gaming. Because when we got these next-gen consoles, now what we call the current gen, well, I guess it's technically not current gen yet, annoyingly, but 60 frames was one of the big things. Consistent 60 frames on most of our games, or so at least it should be. And then ray tracing was like the two big things that both Xbox and Microsoft were. Well, those are the same thing. Both Xbox and PlayStation
I was
were
like, what?
were touting and pushing. And now, a couple years down the road, we talk about all the time how I can't, at least me personally, I cannot play a game in 30 frames a second anymore. I legitimately just can't do it. It grosses me out. I tried it with Hogwarts Legacy just the other day. I tried switching that to its fidelity mode, and I can't do it. I don't care if it looks marginally better. It runs 50% worse. And that trade-off to me isn't worth it. So if you have a PC that can absolutely run ray tracing at 60 frames a second, it's probably worth it. It probably looks amazing. However, as a mostly console gaming, I do some PC gaming, but not a whole lot. I play most of my games on my PlayStation or on my Switch or whatever. It's just not there yet, and it's just not worth the eyesore of seeing everything kind of jitter in and out at that 30 frames per second mark. So until ray tracing can become standard at 60 frames, which I probably won't be till next generation that we see something like that come to fruition or anything like that. I think it's a resounding no, it's not worth it yet. Again, especially on console gaming and all that. If you have a PC, if you have, I don't even know, a 4090, if you spent $2,000 on your graphics card and you can get that to run at 60 frames a second with ray tracing enabled, I guarantee you it looks absolutely incredible. And to you, it's totally worth it. But for me to have to tick down and play my games in 30 frames a second, it's just not there yet. I just won't do it, and I don't think, like you said, it makes a big enough difference in the visual fidelity of it to counteract the eyesore of seeing your game choppy as hell. And that
Yeah, and
is my
especially, I
general
just
thought.
don't think it's a need, Just really isn't right now. I mean, clearly, there's a lot of games out there that don't have ray tracing in it, and in my opinion, a lot of them look just as good or mostly even better than literally most ray tracing games. I can go back and play Arkham Knight, and that game has clearly, I mean, an Unreal Engine 3 game looks better than most ray tracing games, in my
All right,
opinion.
side tangent. Can we talk about? It makes no sense how good Arkham Knight still looks.
Yeah, dude, I actually
What did
I'll be
they
getting into it soon, dude. I can't wait to play that game
What did they
on what
do?
is.
Like, how did they pull that off? Like, if you put that up against, especially Gotham Knights and even Suicide Squad, but even some modern games, like, I'm sure, yes, there's a lot more going on in something like Horizon, or like you said, The Last of Us Part 1. There's a lot more detail in the world itself, but like, how did they make Arkham Knight look so good? Because you can still look at that game and be like, yeah, that came out last year, right? No, it came out 8 years ago. Somehow it came out 8 years ago. And I don't think we realized how lucky we were at that time. Because you think 2015, The Witcher 3, Arkham Knight, Uncharted 4. How did those games
Wild.
look so good in
Yeah, dude,
2015?
and still going, just it is really mind blowing, especially when you factor in that literally Batman Arkham Knight is an Unreal Engine 3 game. And if you go back and look at a lot of Unreal Engine 3 games, they don't really look anywhere close to as good as Arkham Knight. I would even venture to say that Gears of War 3 doesn't even look as close to as good as Arkham Knight. Arkham Knight, dude, I don't know what they did, but they pulled some magic off. That game looks so good. Like I soon I'll be talking about a certain thing that Mike's gonna be helping me build, and that's one game I'm very excited to play on there. I actually will be getting it on there because I want to see that game like high frame rate maxed out.
Too bad it feels like the magic is gone with Rocksteady, but who knows? Maybe there's something we're not seeing, but I don't think it is. So, all right.
Yeah.
My final answer is no, it's not worth it as of yet. Do I think it makes games look better? Absolutely, it makes games look better. Duh, we have visual proof for that. That's not an opinion. But in my opinion, until we can get to a steady 60 frames or more with ray tracing enabled, it's just not worth it there. It's not worth that trade off for me personally, and I think for a lot of other people out there. So, anything else, man?
No, I don't really think there is, but I do hope in the future ray tracing does it. Again, as I said, there are a few that do pull it off, like again, Spider-Man and Metro Exodus. I think specifically Metro Exodus is probably the most impressive ray tracing game I've seen on console that still runs at 60 FPS. But other than that, yeah. I hope for the future that this evolves and becomes more easy to run and can be more performative on consoles in general. But till then, I really don't think I would ever switch on ray tracing mode unless it's, actually viable.
All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, if you didn't know, this is the XP Podcast, our weekly video game and pop culture news podcast, where Logan and myself sit down with y'all and talk about all the news stories and happenings inside and out of the video game world. We post a new episode each and every week, so you can listen to it whenever you want. You can find us on most of the popular podcasting services, including Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and more. If you enjoy what we're doing here on the XP Podcast, please support us on our Patreon, where you get to be a part of our weekly discussions and give us your opinions on everything we talk about and everything we don't. You'll also be able to find all of our uploads there, along with any exclusive episodes we may post. Links for that, as always, are in the description down below, or you can simply go to patreon.com and search Experience Point, spelled capital X, capital PERIENCEPOINT. However, if you don't have any money to send our way, don't worry, we still love and appreciate you for listening to us and being a part of what is hopefully a growing community. You can also go over to our YouTube channel. We can get this show and all of our shows in video format. If you do, please remember to give us a like, share, subscribe, and hit that notification icon so you can be aware of everything we post when we decide to post it. New episode reminders for you. Last week's episode is up, episode 40. Go enjoy that. Seems to be doing pretty good. But also, our Hogwarts Legacy review and spoilercast went live earlier this week. It's doing really good. I hope everyone out there is enjoying it, is loving what we have to say about a seemingly pretty great game. So, go over there, check that out. Come on back and hear what we have to say about the rest of this show. With all that out of the way, though, let's get into this week's show. In our point of the show, we finally dive into episodes 6, 7, and 8 for The Last of Us on HBO and get ready for the series finale. However, we have to ask the question, should we be gearing ourselves up for the disappointment or not? Stick around and find out. In Around the Point, Square Enix is saying goodbye to the controversial president after 10 years at the helm. The trophy site PowerPyx makes an untraditional move against Atomic Hearts, and Starfield finally gets a release date. Then in LTR, we dive into the reviews for Wolong Final Fallen Dynasty. But before we get to all that, it's time for what is and forever will be the rundown, where we catch up on all things pop culture that we've been doing, whether that be gaming, TV shows, movies, books, or comics. It doesn't matter because we like it all and love to talk about it. So, Mr. Birdman, what have you been doing?
I forgot to unmute. Well, so what I've been up to, I guess the most exciting news, and Mike's a part of this. More like Mike here, is we're building a PC for myself. I know, round of applause. I am going from the world of MacBook to the world of PC. During I think episode 40, or probably I think actually it was a Hogwarts Legacy review when we were recording. Mike helped me pick out some stuff, and I've been kind of working with him on what to get. And yeah, I've ordered everything, and everything should be here by next Tuesday, Wednesday, and basically, I should have all the PC parts. So very excited, can't wait. I think whenever it's fully built, obviously, I'll be talking about it during the episode when I'm recording on my brand new PC. So yeah, I'm very excited for it. I can't wait to finally be a part of the PC world and actually probably try some games out on PC. I got a lot of things for it. I got a new monitor for it. It supports 165 hertz, I believe. The graphics card I'm going for is a RX 6900 XT, and a for my CPU, I have a Ryzen 5 7600X, and then I think I don't know the exact name of the motherboard because it's a bit wacky, but it's an Asus motherboard. But yeah, no, I can't wait. Maybe at some point, maybe I'll take a picture of it when it's fully built, and then maybe during one of our episodes, I'll maybe have Mike put it on just so people can see what it looks like and everything. But Mike is going to be the main person helping me build this because I have no clue how to build a PC.
It
But
was kind of funny
um,
this week when you were sending me the stuff that you
yeah,
bought. Because, like, when I made that list for you, it was kind of like, this is kind of like an idea of what you can build for your budget. And these are kind of some of the parts. So when you started telling me what you got, I was like, oh, which one did you get? And you were like, I just bought everything from the list. I was like, oh. That wasn't exactly
yeah.
what the list was intended for, but fine, whatever. That works, I guess.
Hey, at least I did some research on some of the parts.
That's
Like I
fair.
ended up changing the motherboard because the one motherboard that was on that list was not reviewed very well. It had like a 2 out of 5 star review, and a lot of people kept saying it caused blue screening. And I'm like, yeah, I'll pass on that. So I randomly came upon this other one, which, by the way, I didn't realize when you buy the CPU, there's actually a bundle that comes with the motherboard, and I didn't notice that until afterwards. So I could have literally just bundled it and got them together, but I'm an idiot and I didn't notice that. So I ended up getting the CPU separate, and then I found a motherboard that Mike helped me with. I kind of like randomly came upon it, and again, I was very confused about the motherboard because I didn't know what I needed. It kept saying I needed it was for the Ryzen 7000 series, and I didn't understand what that meant. I'm like, is that like an R7 7000? Like, what's the 7000 series?
You
Because
know,
it's
so
confusing. Because
the
there's an
7,000.
R9 7000, and then there's an R5 7000. So
Yeah.
I'm like,
No,
what?
those are just the different levels of the product line. The 7,000 series is the one you got, the 7600, but that's the
Yeah,
R5. You can get an R7 7700, and it just kind of goes up. But with this new integration, with this new announcement of Ryzen Gen 7, you have to get specific motherboards because they only utilize DDR5 memory. Whereas me, if I want to upgrade, I'll probably go with a 6th gen Ryzen so I can still kind of use some of my old parts. Because if I wanted to go 7th gen, I pretty much have to buy a brand new PCU, and I don't feel like doing that yet. So
yeah.
that
No, I'm
that's
very
the
excited. Been watching a ton of videos on this graphics card because I didn't know how good it was until I looked it up because I was a little confused. I didn't know like how good it was, so I was curious. And I gotta say, I'm very excited to play some Red Dead, dude. I'm very excited to play that on that card. I know that's an old game, but like it's pretty demanding, surprisingly. A lot of people don't know that. And yeah, I can't wait. There's a lot of games I'm very excited to play on there, and I can't wait to have it built and actually working. So I told them all the different parts. I told them what graphics card I got, and then the CPU. And then I didn't know the exact name of the motherboard because it's a bit convoluted, so I just called it an Asus motherboard because I don't know what it is exactly. It's a bit of a wacky name. But yeah, I told them also maybe I could take a picture of it when it's fully built, and maybe we can like post it up real quick and during the podcast if people want to see it. But yeah, no, I'm very, very excited for this PC. I'm been very excited ever since I got all the parts, and now I just gotta wait for it to all come in. I also got a new monitor, by the way, so I'm not gonna be using this shitty ass TV with that. I refuse. If I'm gonna build a PC, I'm gonna get a monitor too. So I did, and it's a 1440p. So that's what I was
Which
wanting.
is a sweet spot. There's no point. I mean,
No,
technically,
yeah, I looked it up, and 4K gaming, you can't do it on this card, and some games can do it pretty damn well, but I just don't really see the point in it because I can get a lot more frame rate in a 1440p, and I still think 1440p looks insanely good. I didn't want a 1080p because I'm like, then I'm underutilizing it, and also the graphics card isn't meant for 14 or for 1080p. It's meant for 1440p and up.
yeah,
So I
that's really
decided
what
to go
it's.
1440p.
It's really what it's designed to do. All right, got a couple other things here. Obviously, we'll be talking about The Last of Us in the point of the show, so we'll go and skip on that. But how was The Mandalorian of season 3?
I haven't seen episode 2 that came out yesterday, but episode 1 I thought was really, really good. Other than I guess the costume design in some aspects they seem to cheaped out on because there's this one scene in the first episode of season. Wait, yeah, we're on season 3. Yeah, season 3. Uh, they made this like little Mandalorian helmet for like a kid, uh, and it looked like hot shit. It looks like someone made it out of the most cheap plastic of all time. Like compared to all the other Mandalorian outfits, this helmet looked like it was just like a shitty uh toy helmet you would buy at Walmart that they put on this kid, and it looked really, really bad. So that kind of scared me already at the beginning of the episode. I'm like, okay, where's their budget going? Like, if they can't even make the costumes and make them look good. But I think the rest of the episode of episode 1 is pretty dang good. Obviously, it's kind of like a starting thing, kind of trying to bring up the whole plot of what the rest of the season's like. So I wouldn't really say a ton happens in the first episode, but it's really good so far. I need to watch episode 2 that came out yesterday, but I've kind of just been in a very weird mood this week on what I've been wanting to do. So I guess I can. Do you want me to go through all my other stuff real quick? Not the HBO or the Last of Us episode, but you know.
Yeah, sure. What you said,
Yeah.
lots of VR stuff. What VR
Yeah,
stuff?
so
Did my talking about VR get you more excited about VR? Is it
that's literally
okay? I
exactly
was
what
wondering.
happened. So after beating Hogwarts Legacy, I've been in a weird place. I didn't know really what I want to play next. Like I have games I need to beat, but if I get on to play them after work, I've just been kind of like, I don't know. I just kind of want to stop. Like I don't feel the mood to play them. So I was like, you know what? I kind of want to get back into VR. You were talking about VR, so I kind of want to get back and play more games. So I went back and I started playing more Bone Lab. There was a bunch of mods that had been released since I last played, and I downloaded a bunch of them. I also downloaded one where there's this dude that's literally bringing over, dude or girl, I don't know what gender the person is, by the way, but they are moving over Bone Works into Bone Lab, the entire campaign. So I decided to download that, and I played through the first 3 to 4. Well, for some reason, the fourth mission is kind of broken. It keeps like it basically kicks me out of the game. So I can only get through the first 3 missions, but I've been having a lot of fun going back and playing Bone Lab. I always forget how good that game is. So I've been playing a lot of that. And then yesterday I got back and started playing some Onward, which is this basically realistic shooter that's on the Meta platform and also I believe on Steam. And I had a lot of fun on there. I was having a lot of fun with random people I was playing with. It was a really good time. I don't know. It was kind of refreshing to go back and play some VR again. I think since you brought it up, made me really want to go back and play it. And it was kind of refreshing to go back because I've been playing a lot of just sitting down and playing on the console recently, and I kind of want to stand up and actually play some VR games. And yeah, it's been a ton of fun. I'm still enjoying it as much as I always do. I also started to try a new game out, which was the Last Brigade, I think is what it's called. Our Last Light Brigade, I think is what it's called. And yeah, I talked about it the other episode, but it's basically like a roguelite, but set in World War II, and it's really hard. Like I didn't expect it to be as difficult as it was because I literally got to the first world I like walked like maybe 2 steps and then enemies popped up and killed me in like 2 seconds and I'm like, oh shit, like okay. So I went back through and I've been getting better at it. It's a really hard game, but it's actually really fun. So, but yeah, that's been my little bit of a VR escapade that I've been doing the last 2 weeks. It's been really fun kind of going back and revisiting the VR world again. What about you, Mike? How has your VR PSVR experience been going?
Well, I've actually been a little bit, well, not a little bit. I've pretty much been in the space that you are after putting so much time so quickly into Hogwarts Legacy. Even with that VR there, I just haven't really felt like playing too much. Also, the fact that I just consistently keep feeling bad, which, like we talked about last week, isn't very conducive to being in a VR headset for multiple hours when you don't feel all that great to begin with. So I've only put maybe like 5 or so total hours into Call of the Mountain, but it's still really good. I'm still really enjoying it. I will say the biggest negative that I have with PSVR 2 isn't like a huge negative. It's just kind of an annoyance. It is very difficult to find the sweet spot. And that sweet spot is kind of like a small thing. So when you get down here and when you play, we're going to have to spend some time figuring out that perfect set that you have. Because after the first couple days, after kind of like, I don't know, like the honeymoon period was over, I guess, I was like, wow, this is really beautiful, but it's not as clear as I thought it was. So I actually took my glasses off, put my contacts in, and I was able to get the lenses closer to my eyes then, and everything kind of cleared itself up significantly more. So it's pretty finicky, and there's a whole bunch of guides on the console to how to get it perfectly set on your face. But like I said, I guess with the glasses, the lenses were a little too far away from my eyes. So with contacts in, it looks absolutely incredible now. But I will say, out of everything that I've heard, that's a pretty big complaint per se, even though it's not a huge complaint, but it is a complaint nonetheless that it's not the easiest to find that sweet spot. Especially, if you play some and 20 minutes later you give it to me, you got to kind of set things up for yourself. So that seems to be a little bit of annoyance, but I'm still really enjoying it. I think the combat of Horizon is actually not being talked about enough. I think it's actually really fun in Call of the Mountain, and they do a good job with making it not overwhelming to the point that you can't play it, especially like if you struggle with these things. A lot of people complain that it locked you into this plane and you can only move left or right. I think that does a whole lot for it because you get to focus on dodging, you get to focus on equipping different arrows, you get to focus on the combat a lot more, and you just have to make sure you move left or right when attacks come in. And I think that allows them to actually make the combat significantly more hectic than it would have been. Not hectic, I guess, because it would have been insane if you could move freely. But, I mean, they throw, 2, 3, 4 enemies at you at a time with some of the smaller ones. And, it forces you to kind of look around, be aware of your surroundings, but not have to deal with, moving freely in this space, which, in my opinion, I think would have just been a little too much for me to try to figure out how to do, and even if it worked well enough that I could actually get through with it. But so I think the combat itself actually isn't being talked about enough. Granted, there's not a whole lot in it. I guess they could have put some more in it. But yeah, other than that, I still think it's really enjoyable. It's absolutely beautiful. I've been trying to send you guys these 2 videos on the group chat for like 4 days, and it's just not working for some unexplained reason. I can't send these videos.
Oh, you
But
talking about on PlayStation?
yeah,
Yeah, no, literally, I've been having the same problem, dude. Like, you sent me that Hogwarts video, and it won't load for me. It'll literally, like, show the first, like, 2 seconds, freezes. I keep trying to send you a video, and it keeps saying error, and I don't know why. I'm trying to
well,
figure
that's
out.
funny because I just got a random 2 minute and 44 second video of you just doing stuff. I don't even think you were showing me anything.
No, get to the very end. For some
Oh,
reason,
okay.
it's very long. It's the ending part that's interesting. I hit 2 minutes because I thought it was 2 minutes And then I was like, oh wait, that wasn't 2 minutes, but it was too late. I already hit record.
You know
So
you can edit it, right? I edit all my videos.
yeah, I probably should, but
Okay.
it's okay.
But anyway, so
I should have explained to you it's the last like few minutes.
I literally just got that, so I was really confused. I was like, why is he sending me stuff while we're recording? But whatever, I guess. So I will look at the end of that. But yeah, there's something weird going on. I tried to send the entire group chat some cool videos of me like climbing, and then when I got to the top of this mountain, so you guys can see kind of how beautiful it is. Granted, you're not in the headset, but other than that, like I said, I think PSVR 2 hardware wise is a rousing success. It just needs to be supported, which if they keep up the same cadence that they are right now, we've gotten a new game this week, we're getting a new game next week. It depends on what happens with the first party, how many they can push off with those, and some of the more like noteworthy franchises. We need a new Astrobot that has to be coming at some point in time, pretty shortly, either at the end of this year or early next year. We have to get a new Astrobot game in this thing. But yeah, I think other than that, hardware is absolutely fantastic. I've had no real complaints with it. It's comfortable, it's easy to use, it's beautiful. The controllers work really well. The tracking is incredible. My biggest problem is I don't have a huge amount of space, but that's not the headset's fault. That's my own personal fault. But outside of this, it being a little finicky to get in the right sweet spot and perfect spot for your eyes, so everything kind of works in unison. I think it's absolutely incredible so far, and I think that as long as it's supported by Sony and by PlayStation and by some of their third-party partners, it can be a really great success for them. Who knows how many units they're going to sell? VR is still kind of a niche thing, but who knows? Other than that, the only thing I've done really is get the platinum in Hogwarts Legacy, which apparently you said you can't, you don't get those videos. That's all it is just me just achieving the platinum. So I got it. I went through the intro sequences of those two other stories. So between my main playthrough, 63 hours, and about 2.5 hours of those other playthroughs with two different houses, I'm around, 66, 68-ish hours to platinum this game. Pretty rewarding platinum, all told, especially within the main game. Doing some of the repeated things kind of was boring. I literally just put on podcasts and listened to it while I sprinted from cutscene to cutscene and just kind of skipped everything. But I did make sure to pay attention to the exclusive quest. All them exclusive quests. The 4 out there total. We talked about
Yeah.
that on another podcast, but yeah, it's actually kind of disappointing once you see them all, especially going to Azkaban. It was very disappointing actually. It was maybe a total of you spent 3 minutes there.
Really?
Yeah, and it's all cutscene. There's like no, well, no, I
All
guess
that hype for no reason.
there is gameplay in there, but the gameplay is just you walking. That's the only gameplay in that sequence. Everything else is just a couple cutscenes, two cutscenes mainly, and then a conversational cutscene, and then you're aspirated out. But so there you go. I got it. I achieved it. Platinum done. So I don't know what I'm gonna do more in this. Probably, yeah, like you said, I got a couple things to do before Resident Evil 4 comes out. So I'm gonna backtrack and focus on some of those things. I got to get through Dead Space. I may go back and play some more Fire Emblem, just kind of as like a palate cleanser. But I'm really just kind of waiting on Resident Evil, and then through that time, I'll probably check out some other VR experiences. Still haven't jumped in on Star Wars yet. Still waiting for that. I don't really want to spend $50 on it, but it looks like I'm going to if I want to play it because it's the brand new edition and everything. So I don't know. But other than that, I don't have a whole lot. I haven't done too much. I've been watching a show just to kind of, while I said I don't feel good, I kind of lay down most of the time. So I don't know if you've watched Hawaii Five-0, but it's kind of like an old cop show. Not old. I'm watching the newer one, but old-ish cop show that I've just kind of been watching just to pass some time while I lay there feeling sorry for myself. So anything else you got?
Fair. No, I don't believe so. Not really.
Okay, well then we have about 10 minutes before the showcase happens. So, real quick, do you just want to, come in straight to that? Or you want to go talk about The Last of Us for 10 minutes and then go into the other thing?
Let's say Last of Us for after, because I'm sure we're gonna have a lot to say in a sense.
Yes.
If you think so,
Yes.
definitely don't have 8 minutes worth of things to talk about for
No.
that. So if you want, I guess we could bring up the last story real quick. It doesn't really take that much to say anything, and it's gonna be about this.
Yeah, I guess we can,
Yeah.
yeah, bring that in and we'll just won't talk
We
about
could
it.
go we can go back to around the point. I know this technically isn't around the point yet, but we might as well bring it up since
All right.
it's we're about to get into this.
Well, just for a time filler, ladies and gentlemen, those of you that listened to our reaction to the gameplay showcase for Resident Evil 4 know both Logan and I weren't too happy with the rain effects out there, and I don't think anybody else was happy with the rain effects. But good news is Capcom listened, they heard us, and don't worry, it'll be fixed, they say. It says, as reading from the IGN article, in an interview with Press Start Australia, Resident Evil 4 producer Hirobaisha Yoshikai, I definitely did not say that right, had this to say. He goes, "We've seen everyone's reaction to the rain effects, and don't worry, we are working on a day one patch to make adjustments." So that's really all there is. So they listened, we talked, it'll get fixed. And Logan said he did hear some people complaining that they were fixing it, which very much confuses me.
Yeah,
But
that really confused me because I came upon the news that a lot of people, which by the way, I don't think it's much of a rumor, but a lot of people think during the showcase they are going to be releasing the demo, which does make complete sense to me. Like it's literally when does Resident Evil 4 come out? Like probably a week or so.
March
No.
24th.
Yeah, so not much longer till that comes out. So it makes sense that they came out with the demo now. So I think the demo is going to be released after the showcase or during it, either or. But yeah, I seen some weird comments down below where people are like, "Oh, I'm not going to download the day one patch because I want the rain." And I don't know if maybe they were just trolling, which they could be, but it was just kind of like, "What?" Like I I don't think anybody wants that rain. That rain looked really bad. I think it's pretty unanimous that that rain looked really bad. It's probably the only thing that I felt that looked really bad. Everything else looks really good. But yeah, no, I'm happy to hear that. I'm happy that they're gonna fix it. So like I kind of was getting well, not really like super worried, but more just like I was wondering if they actually were gonna fix it within the time that the game released. But they are day one patch. So I'm very excited about that. Can't wait. Yeah, I don't really got much more to say about that other
All right.
than that's good
While
news.
while we're trying to kind of waste time here, we got about
Yeah.
6 minutes left before this thing comes on. Any last predictions you have? Obviously, we'll probably see. Not probably. We're definitely going to see something from Resident Evil. Probably see something from Street Fighter. I know in the write up they showed they're going to have some Mega Man Battle Network Legacy Collection. So for Mega Man fans out there, I guess you guys are excited about that. But anything else? Maybe any surprises we might see? Because the last time Capcom had a spotlight was the announcement of Resident Evil 4. That's a lie. That was announced at a State of Play. They showed gameplay for the first time on the last showcase that they did in the summer of 2022. So, any surprises we might see, or just going to be kind of just another like update showcase? What do you think?
I think one, not really a surprise, but I do think one thing they are going to showcase, and I already brought this up when the whole PlayStation showcase happened, and I was wrong, but I'm going to predict it again for this, and I think they are going to show at least a little snippet of Resident Evil 4 VR in some way or form. I think they are going to showcase it. I don't know how long it's going to be or anything, but maybe they'll show a little snippet saying this is coming later on after release. What do you think? Do you think that'll be a thing? Because I mean, in my opinion,
I mean,
I
yeah,
mean
I
it
think
makes sense.
that's a pretty easy prediction.
Yeah,
Not easy prediction, but I guess like it's something they probably will show at some point in time, if not here, maybe later. But do you think maybe there's a little bit of rumor mill going on out there? But we all know Monster Hunter is probably outside of Resident Evil their biggest franchise. Do we see Monster Hunter World 2 finally get revealed here?
I don't. That would be pretty crazy. Because I mean, well, yeah, I don't know. Because I don't know if this is more just a lot of updates. I didn't see anything of like what they've said before the showcase was happening. if they like said how big this thing is gonna be. I don't know. Did they ever say how long this was gonna be?
Yeah, they said about 26 minutes. So about the
Then I'm gonna say, well, okay, they might do at the very end. They might do like a little teaser. Probably not showing any gameplay or anything. If they show gameplay, that'd be more crazy.
I
They
know
might towards the end showcase that.
I
Like
know
they
we're gonna
might do.
get an update for Exoprimal, which Logan is for some reason excited about. I still don't know why, but I
I'm
guess
not like very excited, but it's more that it just looks fun. Okay, it's a fun looking video game. It's nothing more, nothing less. It's just a fun dinosaur horde shooter in exosuits.
all right,
I mean, come on.
last wild prediction before we get ready for the showcase here in just 2.5 minutes time. Devil May Cry 6. It's gonna be here and it's gonna be huge and we're gonna pop for it. And then an Okami remake at some point. Okay, that last one's totally a joke. That's not happening, but that would be really, really cool if it is. So, all right, we're gonna go on out now, guys. The next time you hear from us, for you guys, will be like 10 seconds, but for us, it's gonna be a couple minutes as we get things ready to go. Is going to be our live reaction to the Capcom Spotlight for March 2023. We'll see you guys on the other side. All right, guys, we are here just like that. It's magic. 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Capcom live showcase. Let's see what they got for us.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Welcome to Capcom Spotlight, where we'll provide updates on
Whoa.
our upcoming games.
That's good.
Stay tuned until the end to hear the latest on all of Capcom's new titles. Without any further delay, here's the first game.
Let's get it.
No matter what, we're always connected. All 10 mainline games in the Mega Man Battle Network series are coming to Nintendo.
Have you ever been a Mega Man fan, Mr. Birdman?
And Steam.
No, I've never. I'm not really into those type of games, in my opinion.
2023.
There's a podcast guy that I listen to that he freaking loves Mega Man.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that are like really obsessed with it. I mean, I feel like the Mega Man community is kind of like the Sonic community, where they're like absurdly dedicated to the franchises.
Yeah.
I've just never felt that way. I don't know. I kind of feel like Mega Man's a little bit maybe before my time. I don't know. I don't know when the first game came out, but I've never played one, so I guess I can't really judge.
I played some of the older ones, especially on like PlayStation. Like, I think I started with the X line, but they're very difficult.
Yeah, they seem very difficult. Dude, this dude's rocking the coat right now. Hell yeah.
I love Japanese people so much.
Yeah, dude, they
care.
got style.
They care so much about the shit that they make.
Yes. Well, they're always super enthused with whatever they're showcasing, and it's great. It's so cool.
Even if it, from a Western perspective, it's generally hysterical to see this stuff, I still, it endears me to these games quite a bit more than some of, like, you know, PlayStation coming out there and being super serious about The Last of Us. Like,
yeah,
these guys just having fun with the games they make, it endears me to them a little bit more.
Mega Man Battle Network Legacy Collection includes all 499 patch cards from Battle Network 4 onward that were available only in Japan as physical cards. In Battle Network 4, 5, and 6, players can enable or disable patch cards. Buster Max mode.
Like I said, I don't know what any of this means, but
yeah, I don't either. That's
Mega Man
like,
fans are probably really excited about it.
And speed up combat.
I'm always a little confused by it. So this is like, obviously, a side games of Mega Man. Obviously, it's a normal Mega Man.
Yeah, no, it's like, I guess it's kind of like a JRPG type thing.
Actually, this kind of looks... So now I'm seeing this. So this isn't like normal Mega Man. This is like a... I know this may be dumb for a lot of people listening. I'm sorry. I don't know much about Mega Man. But this looks really cool, though. Kind of. Like, I kind of like the style of the combat.
1,000 illustrations and 188 music tracks to enjoy in the gallery.
Ugh.
With online
feel
play,
awful.
players can connect with distant friends and rivals to trade battle chips and net battle too.
Hey,
Pre-orders are
you
available
won't feel
now.
as awful whenever
Mega
they
Man Battle
reveal the
Network
Resident Evil 4
Legacy
demo.
Collection brings all 10
That's true.
mainline games
I'll get to play it
Yeah.
tonight.
That'll be the
PlayStation
medicine
4
you need.
And Steam. Volume 1 and Volume 2 will also be available at launch.
I can't wait for you to play Resident Evil 4 for the first time. Hopefully you like it as much
Starting
as I
March
do.
21st, the English
I'm
version of
very
Mega Man
excited
NT
about it,
Warrior
actually.
will be available to watch for
I'm
free.
so freaking excited.
Check the official website for more information.
I'm also worried because it's like it's one of my favorite games of all time, and I just hope it kind of lives up to it, you know.
Yeah.
Street Fighter 6 launches June 2nd, 2023. This is the latest edition of the series that redefined the genre. In addition to Fighting Ground, where the pinnacle of genre-defining battles take place, Street Fighter 6 includes World Tour, an immersive single-player story mode, and Battle Hub, an
Hey, that's
online
cool.
social space reminiscent of arcades. There are a
I
number
wish I
of
was
new
good at
ways
fighters,
to
man.
Okay, it would have been really cool if they just announced that you could play the old
Today
games
we'll
in that
introduce the
arcade.
final
They
color
showed it, but they
commentator
didn't show
included in the game.
gameplay.
Please enjoy this video.
What?
I am currently
Please
enjoying the video.
enjoy this video.
I am currently enjoying said video.
Yeah.
高橋ひかるです。よろしくお願いします。さあどっちが勝つんでしょうか。心理戦にも注目していきたいです。
Oh, I'm sure people are really excited for a new commentator, but I just
なんかこっちが緊張する。
Wait, I didn't even know there were commentators.
いやーここ。
Yeah.
抜けないですね。
Wait, so is a commentator doing it the entire time you're playing, or is this like a...
おお。しっかり倒しきりましたね。
I have no clue. I'm not a Street
Yeah.
Fighter expert.
どっちが勝つのこれ。いやもう頑張って。うわこれは痛い。いいんじゃないですか。これいけそうですよ。
A quick side tangent, real quick. Did you see that Worthy's little bitch ass stole a game from me on Fantasy Critic?
I didn't see what game it was, but I heard that it was by what, like $2?
It was $1.
For $1, damn.
It was Bayonetta Origins.
いや
Really?
Yeah.
天才すぎ。
Honestly, I don't think that's much of a loss, in my opinion.
I mean, I don't know. The reason I added it because previews had shown that it's actually pretty darn good. So I was hoping to scoop it up, but then Worthy had to come in here. The good news is I have so much more money than everybody else. So if there is a huge game, I can just dump all my money
Hikaru
towards it.
Takahashi is joining the fray, bringing our lineup of play-by-play and color
the
commentators
heck?
to a total of 8. Real-time commentary matches the in-game action and brings the competitive thrill and excitement straight to your home.
I mean, I guess that's kind of
Subtitles
cool.
for Real-time commentary will be supported in 13 languages.
You know, this is a
Turn on
weird
rally
thing that I
support
kind of
and
wish
the
Call of Duty
commentators
would
will
bring
cheer
back.
you on,
Back in Ghost,
creating a more
they
personal
had these
experience.
packs for the commentators when they announced like kill streaks and all that. I kind of wish they brought that back
Street
to
Fighter
Marvel
6
2, the
launches
new
on
one.
PlayStation 5,
Like it'd be
PlayStation
cool to
4,
have like, I don't know,
Xbox
like
Series
some
X,
dumb
and
like,
Xbox Series
I don't know,
S
you could
and
have
Steam.
Tim the Tap Man, you know, or something.
Gordon Ramsay or something like that. You know,
Yeah.
announcing like kills. Like I don't know, it's cool, it's funny, and people will purchase it. And it's honestly kind of easy money in a sense. I know it probably costs a bit to record all of it, but I bet it would be a lot of people would want it.
Capcom Pro Tour
I just want
2023
Gordon Ramsay to
invites
just
players
yell, "You
around the
fucking
world
donkey
to
at me!"
compete in the event.
Your fucking team sucks.
Also proud to announce the
Oh, that's
2023
great.
season will feature
That would be
Street
awesome.
Fighter 6.
Dude,
Yeah.
I'd pay $4.99 for a
There will
Gordon
be a
Ramsay
special
commentator
prize
pack.
package this season.
Oh, hell yeah.
The first place winner of Capcom Cup will receive $1
Did you see that they're actually bringing the Shredder from Teenage Mutant Turtles as a skin to Marvel 2?
Of course they are.
Yeah, I know, right?
Next, we'd like to share some exciting Capcom news.
All right.
All right.
Capcom celebrates its 40th anniversary this June. As part of the celebration, we're opening a digital theme park called Capcom Town. We're planning to construct a digital museum and other buildings. The grand opening is June 12th, 2023. Please see this link for the latest.
Okay, that's dumb, but I'm probably gonna go look at it.
Yeah, I kind of want to see what it's all about, you know? It's kind of like the thing Xbox did, I think like a year or two ago, at the end of the year, where they did like a big recap of like a bunch of Xbox stuff, and you can actually like play around and move your character around and look at different museum pieces and all that. I thought that was kind of cool. So if it's something like that, that'd be kind of cool.
Register now for Capcom ID. Futuristic exosuits.
All right, here we go.
my favorite game.
Logan's
Most hype game of the year, right?
I was saying, yeah, Logan's #1.
This team-based action game.
Again, man, it's exo people fighting dinosaurs. I mean, come on. It's the most video game I've ever seen. Like, it's just wild. It's weird. But it looks cool. I don't know.
Hordes of dinosaurs in Dino Survival. Let's take a look at the latest trailer. We have some surprises in store, so be sure to watch to the end.
Well, they really don't want you to leave halfway through this, huh?
In every war game, Ace really is getting pulled back 3 years into the past. Back to 2040, right before the Stratovator fails.
You're a time traveler.
This is no random outbreak.
Oh.
Leviathan is intentionally summoning them as cannon fodder for the war game.
But why? Why repeat the same day over and over?
Chief, when exactly did you say your sister passed?
3 years ago, one of the first outbreaks. Never found out more than that. You know how the
Chief
network
Marco
was.
Lorenzo. She is alive. On the island. In the past.
Why is this like the most 2000 trailer I've ever seen?
I was gonna say, man, this music reminds me of
It
fucking
is
middle
so
school.
2000, dude. Yeah, like what the fuck is happening?
I like it though. I don't know.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, I'm not hating it. I mean, clearly this is like my past right here, but it's just wild.
I still don't think the game's gonna be good, but I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, it looks like a fun video game. I don't think it's gonna be like the next best thing, but it just looks fun. I don't know.
I'm seeing if this trailer makes me.
This music though. Get it.
No. Hey, credit where credit's due. Character models don't look bad.
Yeah, I mean, not bad at all. I mean, at least they're also attempting to put a story in here. Is it going to be great? Probably not, but you know. Time travel, though. I guess I didn't really expect that.
Oh. Indeed.
No Spider-Man. Lorenzo's name is full of this stuff.
Don't know what any of that meant, but all right.
Yeah. Woo!
Another exo fighter recruit, right?
Well, hold on.
Welcome to IBS.
VR mode? Oh no. Okay, never mind.
Open beta test. Okay.
I thought it was a VR mode. I was actually gonna get a little
I was like,
excited.
Holy shit, dude! That's gonna be wild. Okay.
Yeah. We know pre-order bonuses. You want us to pre-order the game? We get it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Limited time bonus survival pass season 1. That looks pretty cool. That middle skin. Oh wait, never mind now. I don't know. Yeah, this kind of reminds me of you know that Earth Defense Force 2056
Yeah.
whatever. That's kind of what this reminds me of. It just looks like a wacky,
Hey, there you go.
fun video game. Yeah, I mean, oh shit, no wait. Okay. Woo! That does have me. I actually will be playing this game then for sure day one.
Xbox Game Pass.
Hell yeah.
I think that was new. We didn't know that, did we?
Yeah, no, we didn't. That's brand new.
Launches on July 14th.
At least I think it's new.
I didn't know that.
Before that, we'll be holding an open beta test.
Damn.
In addition,
I hope this game does well.
Previously introduced,
Again, I don't
the
expect
two
no
new suits in
90,
today's
but
trailer
you
will
know,
also be playable
heck,
in
if
the
I even
open
get an
beta
80,
test.
I'd be very happy with this game.
Experience the power of each exosuit. For
I just don't
yourself
want to get
as
a
your team
negative.
Faces off against a wall of dinosaurs in Dino Survival, the game's main mode. Participants in the open beta test who fill out a survey will also receive an IBS metal charm that can be used in the full game.
Woo!
Please visit the official site for beta test timing, content, and bonus item info.
I'm gonna check it out. I think I'm gonna check out the beta just
Now,
to
I'd
see.
like to introduce the Survival Pass reward system.
Oh, perfect. This is what I love.
Yeah, my favorite.
As players acquire experience points in the Survival Pass, their Survival Pass level goes up. and they earn rewards separate from player and suit levels. The Survival Pass includes a free tier and a paid premium tier. Purchasing the premium tier unlocks access to special rewards, including 19 exosuit skins and 10 weapon skins. Here are some of the rewards. The Deluxe Edition includes the Survival Pass Season 1 premium tier as an added limited time bonus.
Football skin.
What the hell? Launches July 14th, 2023.
Oh man, why does every game have to have a battle pass now?
Well, this one at least makes a little bit more sense than Suicide Squad.
Please see the official site.
True.
I mean, this is an online co-op shooter. I guess, well, never mind.
Yeah.
So it's Suicide Squad. But,
Yeah, wait, yeah.
never mind. I don't know. Suicide Squad just doesn't feel like it needs a battle pass.
We'll have more for you soon.
Oh yeah, do them up downs. Let's go.
Yeah.
We look forward to seeing you in the open beta test.
You'll see me. I'll check it out, see what it's about.
Yeah.
No reason not to.
Ooh. I hope we have in our story when we go back to Around the Point and everything. I don't know if we put a certain game on there that got revealed recently.
Ghost Trick.
What, City Skylines? I didn't put it in there.
No, the other game. The finals.
Release on June 30th.
Oh no, I didn't put it in the news, but it does look really cool.
Yeah, dude, that game honestly looks really awesome. I'm actually extremely excited for it.
It's gonna out Battlefield.
Well, it's like, yeah, it's basically like Battlefield Bad Company mixed with like Team Fortress, I guess is the best way to describe it.
These are the mysteries he's trying to solve with the powers of the dead.
Question: do you ever play Ace Attorney?
Sizzle has two basic
No.
abilities.
Me neither.
Possessing objects
I know, again,
it's never
people like
interested me.
and then tricking
Yeah.
them in the real world. A hitman is after the red-headed target, Lynn.
We're running out of time here to announce Devil May Cry 6.
Yeah.
The key to changing fate is possessing and tricking all sorts of objects.
I mean, it's
To
been
me, this
time.
game looks like a mobile
Use the
game.
powers of the dead to go back 4 minutes before someone's death.
It's not really that impressive.
And that story must
I mean,
be linked in some way to the
shoot,
mystery
as of
Sizzle's death.
yesterday, Devil May Cry 5 is 4 years old.
Increased frame rate,
So
and
we're getting to the
optimized
point
user
that
interface.
the 6th one can't be far away, right?
Check out the new challenges feature.
Right?
What is it?
So we're getting to the point in time where
certain
the next one can't be that far away.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see.
In addition,
Well,
all 37
well, that looked like
tracks from the
Persona
game
right
have
there.
Newly arranged
Yeah.
versions. You can switch between the original and new versions as you play.
Oh, is this like an old game that's being redone?
Hello, everyone. I'm Shu Takumi, the writer and director of the
Oh yeah, so this is a remake. Maybe I shouldn't be talking smack. This is probably just a remake of an old game. I didn't know that.
Revisit Ghost Trick. We had Yasumasa Kitagawa.
It still does look like a mobile
Great
game,
Ace
though.
Attorney series handled the music. He did incredible work remastering the original songs to match the new graphics. We've also added original music from composer Masakazu Sugimori to celebrate the new version of the game. I hope you enjoy these new songs. The story of lost lives and lost memory all in a single night. Ghost Trick will be reborn in high resolution with new music on June 30th, 2023 for Nintendo Switch, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and Steam. Pre-orders are now
But not
available.
PS5 now, I'm joking.
Check out the official website for information about the
What's
pre-order
up? Sorry, I
bonus.
wasn't even looking.
Please stay tuned.
Oh no, I was just joking. They said only PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. I'm like, oh well, looks like we're not getting it, Mike. It's not coming to PS5 and Xbox, Series X.
Why do they still label things
Shucks,
as that?
I'm
I'm so confused.
Well, because it is coming out on PS4, and it's probably not going to get a true next-gen version. It's probably going to be set through backwards compatibility.
Yeah, no, I get all that, but like, why?
Yeah, I don't know why either. Like, I don't know why they don't just make a native version for the consoles, but it's weird. I guess it may save them on money,
It's
on
time
like
to
having
awaken
to
your
spend
hunting
to
spirit
make
on even
a
more
specific version.
platforms. Monster Hunter Rise is now available for Xbox Series X and Xbox Series S, Xbox One, Windows, PlayStation 5, and PlayStation 4. Please watch this video with information about the latest promotions.
Perfect segue into Monster Hunter World 2 here.
This is our outpost, Elgato.
I wish I was into Monster Hunter. It seems so cool. I just have never been into
The thing
it.
about Monster Hunter to me is that like you had to have a group of people to play with to actually enjoy it. Like I played Monster Hunter World and I just couldn't get into it because playing by yourself just doesn't feel exciting or fun to do. But as a group, it seems perfect because it's about fighting these big monsters together, and they're pretty hard fights because it takes a lot of damage to take them down, and it takes a lot of strategy especially. But like, Monster Hunter World, I tried playing it by myself, and I got bored very quickly because it's just not exciting to play by yourself. And these games are like run insanely well too on this new console. I mean, they are technically ported from like the Switch, so.
Say, can you imagine how well Pokemon would run on PS5?
I know, right?
Actually, it probably still wouldn't run well. They probably still find a way to screw it up.
Yeah, probably, yeah.
Capped at 30. We finally achieved.
They came out with a new update, and everyone was like, "Oh, they fixed the performance," and it hasn't been fixed.
The
It's
massive
still the
expansion
same.
Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak will be released for these
Capped at
platforms on
capped
April
at 30
28th,
frames a second on PS5.
2023.
Stable
Look
though.
forward to a host of new features,
Yeah.
including
That'd be a new
monsters,
change.
locales,
New change of
and
pace.
combat mechanics, in addition to memorable new characters and storylines.
Honestly, I'm surprised for
The
how much
expansion
money
includes
Pokemon
the
wants to
free
make,
title updates up to
why
free
they
title
don't go to
update
other
3,
consoles, since
giving you
Nintendo
instant
doesn't
access to
technically own
chaotic
them.
Lord Magala
I know
and
they
other
have a high
powerful
stake in their
monsters.
company, but, you know,
We'll
I'm
have
I
just
think
a
they.
little surprised.
I think they might actually own the rights to the video games. I think. I don't know for sure.
Free title updates are also
It's
available
confusing.
for
I'm gonna look
Monster
it
Hunter
up.
Rise
I'll be right
Sunbreak
back.
for Nintendo Switch and Steam.
Mm.
We will host a Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak digital event in April to share the latest information about the next free title update 5. Moving on to
Resident
our next
Evil.
topic, we have news
There we
about
go.
the Resident Evil series.
Series.
Ooh, Resident Evil series. Uh-oh.
Yeah, that's. Oh.
Oh my god, they swim? That's terrifying. What the fuck? Stalkers be swimming.
Resident Evil Death Island.
Death Island. Hmm.
We're excited to share this new preview with you all. You may have noticed Jill Valentine made a brief appearance at the end of the video.
Oh, there's like a new
Resident
animated
Evil
movie?
Death Island will
Yeah.
release this summer.
Cool.
I really wasn't into the other one they came out with.
Yeah,
like,
but
a
I
couple
don't know.
years ago.
It's still kind of fun. Alright.
Survival is just the beginning. Resident
Whoa,
Evil
look at
4
this new
launches
game.
soon.
God.
Leon.
Hello everyone, I'm Yoshiaki Hirabayashi, producer of Resident Evil 4. We're grateful for all of the RE4 fans who are excited
I don't think you're ready
for
for how
the
good this
release.
game is.
This game is a remake of the
Yeah.
original, which was released in
Oh, thanks for letting us know
2005.
there.
It
No
takes
clue.
place 6 years after the Raccoon City incident and depicts federal agent Leon S. Kennedy as he fights to survive. Our goal is to create a fresh yet familiar experience. We've preserved the core of the original game and added updated graphics and a reimagined storyline. RE4's release date is just around the corner, but we have a special announcement prepared for you today.
That everybody
Please
knows.
check out
Yeah,
this video.
I wonder what it is.
Yeah. Weird. Leaks are so annoying. They have to be
I
annoying for
mean,
these companies too.
to be honest, I don't think it really needed to be leaked for a lot of people to not like know that it was going to come out the demo. They already said they were coming out with a demo, so
there you go.
It would be
Available
weird
today.
if they didn't release it. Yep, I figured.
These guys don't quit.
Oh, hey, and I think this is isn't this where the original demo took place?
The village sequence.
No, yeah.
The village sequence is like the opening of the game.
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure that when they released the original demo, it was on the village sequence as well.
Chainsaw
demo. What?
The wait is over.
Well, I'm going
That's
on.
an interesting name.
Version of Resident Evil 4 that we are calling Chainsaw Demo will be available starting today. It takes place in the beginning of the game. As Leon first
I'm gonna test this game out on two things. I'm gonna test it on the PS5, and then I'm gonna test it out on my Steam Deck, just to see how it runs.
PlayStation 5 and PlayStation 4, as well as Xbox Series X and Xbox Series S, and Steam. We hope you enjoy trying a portion of this reimagined survival horror. Resident Evil 4 is currently available for pre-order. Both the Standard Edition and the Deluxe Edition include pre-order bonuses. Be sure to check them out. There's not long until the March 24th release date. Please enjoy the trial version until then. Thank you for watching today.
Well, it's not up yet, so I'm trying to download it right now. Oh yeah, that was Salazar, a little creepy short fucker. You don't know who that is, but you will.
Well, I do know what he looks like. Again, I have watched this game before,
And
so
finally,
I do know
we have a message about
a
the
gist
Capcom
of some
publishers
things that happen.
The Resident Evil series, with the exception of the upcoming Resident Evil 4 and Monster Hunter Rise, are currently on sale, and we will be opening the massive expansion Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak for pre-orders. Don't miss this opportunity to pick up digital copies of Capcom's hits. That's all for our event today.
All right, there you
Thanks
go.
for watching.
All right. Well, we were both wrong.
There
There was none of anything that we said was going to be in here.
That's okay.
Thanks for watching.
Just a little
See you next
update.
time.
See you next time.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be right back with the rest of the XP podcast. All right. Thanks for joining along with us. We'll see you again on the other side. All right, guys. Welcome back. You just watched us live react to the Capcom showcase for March 2023. And what did you think, Logan?
Well, as I said, we were completely wrong in every way or form of what we thought might be in it. But I guess we technically were right, and a lot of just about everyone else is right. The demo is gonna be out today. Don't know exact what time, but hopefully pretty soon. I think they said something about tonight. It didn't say it in the video, but I heard a lot of people saying it's coming out tonight. So maybe it's like pretty late tonight, maybe an hour after the live stream. I have no idea. But I'm excited to try out the demo. What about you? What do you think of it all? I mean, altogether here, I'll go real quick. I think altogether it was pretty good. You know, I mean, it's short, it was sweet, it wasn't anything special. They just kind of gave us little updates on like things they've already been working on. I don't really think they announced anything truly new other than Exo Primal is coming to Game Pass, and I think Mike is actually going to give it a try now. And so maybe we could both get on and play it at some point on the open beta just to try it out.
Oh yeah, I'm
definitely. Yeah.
Like I said in the reaction, I'm definitely going to try the open beta. I still don't think the game is going to be that great, and from what I hear from previews that went live about, I don't know, a couple weeks ago, the online performance is garbage. So let's hope the demo, the beta helps them kind of figure that stuff out. But yeah, I'm gonna jump in, check it out, see what it's about. I don't plan on playing it, but maybe it's something for Logan and I to do for a couple nights. So we'll see. We'll look into it. Yeah, but overall, I thought it was an absolute pointless showcase. It wasn't bad per se. I'd probably give it somewhere, 2.5 out of 5, like just completely and utterly average, giving us some updates and some things. People who care about Mega Man are probably absolutely loved the fact that you're getting all 10 of the Battle Network games in one package. That sounds like a great purchase for those people out there who love Mega Man. But yeah, this really was just an update on some things. And if you were excited about those things and you got to see what you wanted to see, I'm sure you loved it. I'm sure you liked that aspect of it. But for us, we always like to see some new things come in, maybe some one little exciting thing to happen, especially with like the Xbox stuff. They updated everything, but then they had that Hi-Fi Rush excitement come in, which definitely boosted our opinions on that showcase. And then State of Play had the surprise that Suicide Squad sucks, so there was that. But other than that, I don't know. I think it was objectively, it was a just barely average showcase, but live reaction always makes it seem more fun. So
yeah, no, I think it was fun doing that, and yeah, I mean, I agree with you. I don't really think they did anything to really. It honestly definitely didn't warrant an entire showcase. They could have literally probably just announced all those in their own little trailer and just put it out on like YouTube and all that. I don't know. I just feel like they kind of wanted to update what they've been doing, but I just don't think it was really worth it.
Like you said, didn't waste our time, so that's good.
Yeah.
That's good, I guess. All right. Well, that was that. We're going to dive into the rest of the show now, guys. So strap in. Here we go. Starting with our point of the show, also known as POTS. Welcome, welcome, welcome. For those of you that have been listening out there, I've fallen a little bit behind on The Last of Us on HBO. I've now completely caught up. Peyton and I watched 2.5 episodes pretty much yesterday to catch up on everything. So
that was a long. Well, I guess it's like a movie.
Yeah,
that's not that bad.
So here we go. This is our episode 6, 7, and 8. Relatively deep, not super deep, because we still plan on putting together kind of a review of the entire series as a whole, or season as a whole. But Logan, you've had a couple of weeks to marinate on some of these. I haven't had as long, but so let's just start overall about what you thought of the refocusing on the main antagonist of the show here after coming off a 3-episode gauntlet of not caring about Ellie and Joel at all.
I gotta say if I had to review all 3 in one whole, I think it's great. This has been very nice. I feel like they truly have brought all their focus on the Joel and Ellie story, which is the whole point of the show. There's only one slight, not really a bad thing, more just like a slight takeoff to show us a little bit of a character that Mike was really wanting to see, and I feel like they did a really good job of kind of furthering this antagonist like little story. And honestly, great, man. Everything about these have been great. I feel like they haven't swayed too excessively far from the games, which has been very nice. And I feel like they fixed some moments from the games, like, for example, in the 6th episode, the whole random gang you fight for no reason. I don't really think that needed to be in the show, so I actually kind of like that it was more just focused on, his brother and the town and stuff like that. I really liked that I guess we should probably stick to each one because there's a lot to take in for all these episodes. So I guess for episode 6, I think it was really, really good. I think they did a really good job of focusing on the key points of what happens in that section of the game without putting in a lot of the video gamey stuff, I would say. Yeah, I mean, I thought it was really, really good. Amy was getting really upset because she thought Joel was actually going to leave Ellie. So yeah, that was a really good episode. I know that kind of was a spoiler. Sorry for the people. I guess if you haven't watched the 6th episode, it was about like 2 weeks ago.
All right.
I'm sorry.
It is very hard to talk critical analysis of these from the perspective of how we know the story and how much we know what's going to happen and going on without being spoilers. So we've spoiled every single episode that we've talked about. So for those of you out there that haven't seen the show and are listening to us, but you haven't checked out The Last of Us, skip ahead in the timestamps to our first story on Around the Point, because we're just going to spoil stuff for you. We're not going to spoil what happens after these shows. We're going to keep that spoiler free. So if you are watching these as they come out and you haven't played the game, we're definitely not going to spoil how this story ends. But we are going to spoil each and every episode that we talk about because it's almost impossible not to talk about it with any sort of critical analysis of them in comparison to the game. So wipe that out. If you don't,
and obviously,
so if you're waiting for all these to come out and you listen to the show, just go ahead, skip ahead to the next segment and around the point where we go through some of the stories from this week, because we're not going to hold back on here. So there's your warning.
I really don't think you guys want to have this ruined for yourselves. Like, even if you like spoilers, try to just watch the show fresh. If you haven't played the games. If you played the games, kind of know already what's going to happen in all these points. So really not much of a spoiler at that point. They didn't really change the whole what happens at the end with any other than episode 3. I don't think anything has been excessively different, except for episode 3. That's probably the most excessive difference in this entire show. But so going back to the focus of episode 6, I think they did a really good job. They took out a lot of the video gamey stuff that didn't make any sense, so they got more time to focus on the Joel and his brother, Tommy, which I thought was really cool. And interesting, and also especially a little bit different than them being at the dam. I like the little Easter egg of them showing the dam, but them actually going to the town instead. I really like that. I don't really have many negatives to say about it. I think it was really good. I think the chemistry between Joel and Ellie just keeps getting better throughout these 3 episodes. But like 6 especially, I think was a really good job. It was definitely a more slow episode. I don't think really a lot happens in this episode. Probably 6 and 7 are technically slow episodes. There's not really a lot that happens other than just a lot of plot and a lot of storytelling. But yeah, no, I think it is really good. I thought 6th episode was really, really great, and I'm happy how it ended. Other than I do think, man, they are really nerfing Joel in these 3 episodes, is all I want to say. Joel is a weak boy. That's all I gotta say. He is a weak boy. He took out that one dude, and then that was it. And I'm like, oh, okay. I thought he was gonna go badass and like take them all out and then get stabbed, but no, it's a little bit different. Which actually, speaking of that, wait a minute. Okay, this kind of contradicted something in episode 8. Okay, I just remembered this. He didn't kill the other 2 people, so why did they not return?
Well, no. So they said 4 people went out, one of them didn't return. So they.
Oh wait, okay.
They said that.
Okay, yeah, you're right. Okay.
But
okay, that makes sense.
I think you were kind of getting around to the point that I'm kind of realizing here. And I guess I just wanted to ask, like, did you? There is a change in episode 6. It's not a major change, and I guess it doesn't really matter that much. But how the confrontation goes down at the university, and how Joel ends up getting hurt. Did you like it?
Kind of lame.
Yeah, because like
kind of lame. I think that's probably the worst part of the episode. I think, again, it seems like they toned down a lot in these few episodes, especially 7 too, with how that goes down. I kind of was wishing there was a little bit more of a fight. Some action. I don't know why, but I feel like with the show, they're really scared with putting action in it, and I just don't get why. Like, are they thinking it's too much of a trope to have a lot of action? But then these are the Naughty Dog developers, and they're known for putting a lot of action in their games, so I don't know why they are directing these episodes to be so... And again, I'm still thinking these are great, but I just think it's a little weird why they keep cutting down on the action. Like, in this college scene, there's a lot of people. Like, they didn't have to put as many people as they did in the game. That's a bit video gamey. There was like a whole freaking 20 people you fight in the game.
Yeah, there was like a whole battalion coming after you. So
yeah. So that's a bit excessive. I get that they want to keep it realistic, but it was 4 guys, and then Joel was only able to take out one of them before getting stabbed with a bat handle. And I'm like, oh, like that's it? Like that's how that whole confrontation was gonna go down? I felt like it was a bit lackluster because, like, I don't know, again, like, what is with them being so scared of making Joel badass? Like, they just keep nerfing him. He just seems so weak. Like, I get it, he's old, but, like, he's also been through a lot, and he's I don't know.
He's very capable,
Yeah.
I was just saying, he's very capable, which is the whole reason why Marlene is comfortable
Exactly.
giving Ellie and giving this responsibility to Joel is because she knows he will get the job done with at any
And
cost.
like,
He will
yeah,
do
like
the
any,
job because he can get through this. And
yeah,
like you said, they're toning down not just the action. I think they're kind of toning down the violence of this world that was present throughout the game, especially with like you as the player and doing some of the things that you do. There was always like a reaction from Ellie. There was sometimes, when Joel would do something or you as a player would do something in the game, Ellie would have a line, but like, oh, fuck, man. And like they're kind of toning down the violence of this world in a way.
which I think is so weird because it's HBO. Like, come on, like why are you toning it down so much? Like, HBO is known, especially with Game of Thrones. Like, I know it's not the same director, but this is like obviously HBO isn't holding them back. It's the director, or maybe it's the director of Last of Us himself. I don't know who's to be in thing because I think Chernobyl, which is his other show, did a very good job of showing how insanely brutal Chernobyl was. And I was kind of expecting that after watching that show and absolutely loving it to see a lot of that in this. And I don't think they're doing that. They keep toning it down. And it's so weird because The Last of Us is known for its brutality, its dark world, but also there is those moments, But it's like it's a brutal world. And I feel like they keep not making it brutal. And I don't know why. I mean, I think episode 8 does a really good job of at least putting some brutality in it and some really kind of just messed up, weird stuff going on. I feel like that one did a really good job of that, other than the weird cuts between. I guess now I'm jumping around, but let's stick to episode 6 real quick. What do you think of episode 6? So we don't jump around.
I think
3 episodes.
like I said, from a storytelling perspective, episode 6 is good. I think it felt slightly rushed to get us to the university and to get everything that happens to, I guess, catch us up in the story, because they did spend, in my opinion, way too much time in 3, 4, and 5 detailing out people that frankly
don't matter.
Yeah, frankly don't matter. And it was, well, I guess, Bill does matter, but in the grand story of this adaptation, Bill didn't matter. And that's,
I mean, clearly he died before they even met him.
That's a big negative that we'll talk about in our official review, of the entire series so far. But yeah, this one definitely.
I think that's my least favorite, other than I guess 4 was also pretty bad because it should have just been a whole thing.
I think overall, we got through a lot of story in this one episode that was probably a couple hours from the game. You getting to the dam, you meeting Tommy, you going back to the thing, having those conversations with Joel and Ellie and Tommy, and then Ellie running away, and then you chasing her down, and then getting to the house and getting that huge, impactful moment in that conversation that is, world renowned at this point, especially for people who love the game. And they did a great they did a great job adapting that conversation in the show. But then you go to the hospital and you explore the hospital and you learn kind of what happened and why they're not there. You mean the
university?
The university, sorry.
Yeah,
and then you explore all that stuff, and then you get the big moment where Joel in the game gets tackled through a barrier. No, it was like a walkway.
Spike.
Yeah,
it's like he puts these like that. That like when you're in the mall,
it's like a barbed wire.
That little glass, like whatever walkway thing. He got pushed through there and felt like this pointy spike.
And that's at least a couple hours of the game with a lot of different character moments and storytelling, and that's all within this 1 hour episode. And I don't know. I guess I just kind of wish they would have stretched it out a little bit. It would have had to change the entire setup of, like, we spent 2 episodes in Kansas City, but we spent 1 episode total with meeting Tommy, getting that development, Ellie kind of dispersing herself away from Joel, them reconciling, and the whole of the university section all in 1 hour episode. I'm like, it felt like it was a little too much, and they said they really had to cram it all in there to get to 7 and 8, and then the all-important final one and the all-important final setup. I don't know, it's just something that we talked about, and I didn't love the way that the middle of this season flowed so much. And I know we're talking more about the series as a whole and not the individual episode, but I think episode 6 is the first time we really saw them have to cram stuff into an episode to get to a point,
Yeah, and it's just, again, like, I don't know. It is really true that like I just don't get why they're so just add more action. It's too late now. I mean, next episode is the last episode, and I'm gonna hope it's decently action packed. I mean, what happens is
It better be.
pretty wild. It better be because it's pretty wild what happens at the end. If they don't pull it off correctly, it could make or break. So I'm really hoping they can pull it off. They have a lot going on this last episode. Which actually, Amy brought up a good point, and we'll have to bring her in when we do this full review. This is an outbreak, a zombie apocalypse in a sense. They're not zombies, but they are cordyceps, you know? And she brings up a good point. Where are they? I feel like we really haven't gotten a lot of them since like the beginning of the show, and they've been like really toning them down. It almost feels like it's like Last of Us 2 already, with the fact that they just like they kind of like they're not much of a I don't know. I guess they haven't really been bringing them up as much of a danger as much as I was hoping to see in the show, you know? Which is going to the next episode, I guess. Let's get to that real quick.
Like
Episode 7.
in this 3-episode arc, there's what, one?
Yeah, one.
There's one runner.
zombie.
He's not even a clicker. It's just a runner.
Yeah, he's a runner.
So yeah,
Which,
it's
again downplays what happens in the game massively compared to what happened in the game. There was a horde, and this one was just one.
Yeah.
So, episode 7 though, from at least till the end, I think did an insanely good job of retelling that story.
Oh, yes.
Honestly, it's pretty damn close to the game. Like, I was very impressed, especially like the photo booth scene and the arcade, all that. I thought it was, and also just the whole set in general, especially if you watch the aftercredit thing, very impressive. They did an insanely good job.
Storm Reed kills it as Riley. And actually, I actually have a negative, not with Storm Reed as Riley, but it's something that I realized while watching her perform as Riley. And it's something we talked about before this show even started to air. And I'm not super sold on Bella Ramsey as Ellie and her portrayal of Ellie. I don't really love it.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know. There's just something that as this series has gone on, as the show has gone on, I don't know. I just don't feel like she's Ellie, and maybe that's coming from the point that, you know, I've played the game like 4 or 5 times, and Ellie is who Ellie is to me. But I just don't feel like she's doing a knock it out of the park job of adapting Ellie to the screen. Is she doing a bad job? In no way, shape, or form. Some of her emotional moments are very well done. She's an incredibly talented actress, especially for how young she is. She's not even 20 years old. She's 19, which is crazy. But I don't love her portrayal of Ellie, and I think that's my biggest letdown so far, 90% of the way through this series, essentially. You know?
Oh, I'm actually on the opposite side. I think she's grown on me, because at the beginning of the show, I wasn't fully invested in her. I wasn't already even invested before the show began, because I didn't think she kind of looked as close to Ellie as I was hoping to see as an actress to take her place. But I do think throughout the show, she's kind of grown on me, and I do think she's doing a really good job, especially in these last few episodes, at actually playing Ellie. I do think at the very beginning, I wasn't very sold on her, because I don't think I don't know. I guess maybe she wasn't fully developed into the character yet, but I didn't think she was really acting like how Ellie kind of would in the game. It was a little weird. But I think she's doing a really good job, especially in episode 7. I thought she did a really good job, surprisingly. I don't know. I thought she was good. But
yeah, that's funny, because we're kind of the exact opposite. Like, I was fine with her in the first couple episodes, and the more it's gone on, I'm just not really, me personally, sold on her portrayal so far. And it says maybe that's coming from a very hypercritical stance from someone who loves who Ellie is as a character and appreciates her and her performance so much, especially Ashley Johnson's performance of that character. And I don't know, man. And it leads me to my biggest criticism of episode 8 is, in my personal opinion, I just don't really think the show has sold Joel and Ellie's relationship enough for me.
think 7 does a lot for it, and 6. I don't know. I think 6 and 7, in my opinion, have done a really good job of pushing again this focus on like them needing each other. And I don't know. I didn't really have. I don't know. I guess I'm not seeing what you're seeing, but I think it's been really good these last 2 episodes. Now, I do want to get to the end of this episode, which is kind of a negative for me. And that's just like, again, like I said with the last episode, this weird downplay on, like, did they spend all their budget on making this set and then forgot to put the zombies in? So they're like, damn, guys, we don't have the budget to make like a ton of zombie characters. We can't hire as many. Let's get one. Let's get one. And it's a runner. And he's just like chilling for 90% of the episode, and then he just shows up at the very end in this Halloween store. And it's the most lame fight I think I've seen. It just was, well, it wasn't lame, but it was more just like, I don't know, it was just one of them versus them two, and compared to the game, it was a lot more adrenaline rush because there was a ton more of them, and it was a lot more exciting. And I feel like that wasn't much of a video gamey thing. That was like, oh shit, there's a ton of them in here and we didn't expect it. I personally like how they did it in the game more. I feel like they really downplayed, again, for some reason, the whole action of the game, they keep downplaying it for some reason. And they only, that one runner was able to bite both of them. And it felt weird to me. Because again, she had a gun, and she missed like all the shots on this one runner, and it took both of them to just take down this one runner, and he bit both of them. And I just felt like it was really weird. It didn't feel right. I don't know. I don't really think it's very realistic, in my opinion. But I don't know. Maybe that's just me. That's my overly critical thing of especially this episode. It's just that ending part. I don't like it.
Yeah, I don't know. I think just overall, I feel like they're missing some of the tension. They're focusing very heavily on the character development and all that. And like I said, I don't think they're doing a bad job of that. Like I said, I loved Storm Reed's performance in episode 7, and I loved to what we got. I love to where we got. But I just feel like this whole series so far, for me, is missing some of that emotional core, that tension that is built up with these characters living through the experiences that you play as in the game. And through those experiences, through the close calls and the moments that you go through with Joel and Ellie and Riley, and that sets a more heavier tone for the events that take place at the end of that, at the end of the story, and at the end of the DLC, with the Left Behind DLC, which episode 7 is adapting. I just feel like because there's not as much of tension and built up throughout it, it's missing a little bit of that emotional core from the game, and that kind of that just supreme tugging of the heartstrings that the game was able to bring to some of these moments. And I just feel like the show is missing a little bit of that. Because, like you said, it doesn't feel like there's a huge threat out there. Like, I understand things are happening, and I get that, but it doesn't feel like, to me, like, as a viewer.
One or two zombies, and like everyone's huddled in these communities, and they're all like, oh man, this world's so dangerous, but then there's like one infected. And it's like, is it really that bad? Like, you guys can't just go out and retake all these areas very easily, because clearly it doesn't look like these infected are much of a threat at all. Like, yeah, as you said, like, I think the only episode that truly showed a huge threat was episode 5. That was wild. But it's like they spent all their budget on the infected on just that one episode. And then just...
Well, episode 2 as well, when Tess dies. True, there's the whole horde there. But yeah, it just doesn't...
Like, that's it.
Yeah.
And it's been weird. Like, it just... I gotta agree with you. Like, yeah, it just doesn't... It doesn't feel like there's much of a threat with the infected, and yet this is a... Like, I don't know. Like, you could do, obviously, in storytelling, where you can make... Obviously, the humans are as dangerous as the infected, but also the infected are a part of this world. It's the reason why you're in a post-apocalyptic world. And yet... you're not showing them almost at all, especially towards the end of the show. Now, supposedly a teaser of the next episode, they are showing some more infected, So maybe we'll get more, but it's too little too late in my opinion.
Which is funny because
it's the last episode.
Which is funny because when we get to the last episode in the game, there's not many infected in that section. So it's like, what is happening? I don't know.
And so let's get to episode 8, the last one that we got to talk about.
I will say,
I like this one more than the last two because, again, I feel like there was more action, finally, though they still kind of cut in a really weird area, which I don't get why they did that. Like, instead of showing us it, like, you could do, like, a cut. Joel takes this person out. Cut. Joel takes out that person. It would have been a little bit, but it's really weird. Okay, actually, wait, I'm gonna let you get your full thoughts out real quick, and then I'll go back.
Okay, so I'll build up to the point that you were getting at. All right. So we've talked about the detailing of characters, or the detailing out of characters throughout this show. I think episode 8 is the first time that this show has detailed out a character in a point that it's enough for them to understand their character way more than we got in the game, but still center everything around Joel and Ellie. I think episode 8 so far is the prime example of when you're creating an adaptation of how to detail somebody out. I think I loved what they did with David here. I know leading into this, I said I much more would have rathered a deeper dive into David than some of the other characters we got, but with the time constraints that they had left with them because of how much they detailed out everybody else, I think what they were able to accomplish here with episode 8 and show the more nuanced characterizations of David and who he is, especially in relations to his group of people who you never really met outside of killing them in the game. You never really got to know them as a community and all that. Those little snippets were the way to do it. And I think so far the show has kind of floundered on how to detail out characters in a concise way, but keep the story focused on our two main protagonists. Episode 8 kind of rectified all that up until the point of the end of the show, which I actually have a problem with, or the end of the episode. The first, 45 minutes of this and what they were able to do with David, I think was the way that they should have done this throughout the rest of the series. So I loved that aspect of it because David is probably the worst character in this whole story. David is an awful human being, and the way they were able to capture that, I think they did a much better job than they have done the previous shows. Leading into my big takeaway from episode 8. I'm bringing you in. Don't worry. I know how to do this.
No. Okay. I was like, I'm going to say my thoughts real quick.
Yeah. And it is something that Logan has been talking about throughout this entire deep dive, in the fact that Joel doesn't fucking do anything.
That's
which is
true.
Which is confusing, because when we get to the end of this episode, there's that whole moment where, Ellie and David have their confrontation, and then Joel comes in, and you're left, especially as an audience of someone who doesn't know the context of the game, what happened to the rest of the community?
Yeah, that's okay. All right, so
I told you I was getting there.
Let me go back to the beginning for what my thoughts are. I totally agree with you. I do think this is probably the best they've done a side character on telling his story, but they did a really good job of not focusing the entire damn episode on him. They did a really good job of mixing some of just his story, but then when he finally meets up with Ellie, you get a lot of more story of him. They're still telling his story, but they are also expanding the whole story with Ellie and Joel. And I think it works insanely well. I think they did an insanely good job. I especially like how close they got it to the game without all the video gaming stuff, like the weird horde that attacked randomly at the foundry. They, again, did a really good job of that. But yeah, let's get to that point. The really, again, further problem with the show, and even weirder, is just like how useless Joel is this episode. Like, he's not truly useless. He does, I guess, kill all those random guys, because they only really show him take out the one dude. Well, no, yeah, there was, how many were there? There were 4.
Well, no.
And one of them. Wait, but when did his partner leave? Did he just up and leave? Like, fuck, can't find Joel. Guess I'm gonna go back.
Yeah,
to the town.
He takes out the 2 people that he interrogates in the game, and they have that interrogation sequence,
which was cool
in the show. And those are the 2 people. But then in the game, there's this whole sequence of you frantically trying to find Ellie and taking out essentially this entire community, which leads to the endpoint. And in this show, they didn't show any of that. So when you get to the endpoint and Joel comes to meet up with Ellie, I'm sitting there, I'm like, where the fuck is everybody else?
Yeah, like that's totally what I said to Amy as soon as the episode ended. I'm like, wait, what happened to everyone in the village? Like, there was a ton of people there. And they only sent 4 people, well, 5 technically if you count David, out to go find Joel. The 3 randoms died. Don't know, I can't remember David's partner. I'm going to call him his partner in crime. I don't remember his name, which, by the way, love that was actually Joel from the game.
Yeah, yeah.
Didn't know that. I love that.
I told Peyton as soon as he came on screen, yeah.
But I did too.
And the way he dies is awesome.
That's the guy who actually plays Joel. Yeah, again, they did a very good job of reenacting a lot of scenes, especially the when he threw down the hatchet and everything. She was talking about how she was infected and everything. And especially also the big surprise for Amy when she was sitting next to me, because I was just waiting for her to hear how absolutely messed up David is. And especially when he was like trying to kind of what is the word? Basically trying to show that he's attracted, this very older gentleman is attracted to young Ellie, and it's very gross, but that's the point. Again, this dark world. But again, why did his partner in crime stay behind just to disappear and be right back at the city within no time? And they don't even explain why. It's very random. Like, he was on the same hunt as these other 3 random dudes from this village, and then he just shows back up at the city, and it makes literally no sense. Like, they didn't explain it at all. Secondly, they do a very weird cut of how Joel, well, first he takes out the one guy, they show that, but then the other 2 guys, they just kind of do a very weird cut where they don't really show it. They just show them in chairs tied up, and I'm just like, why not show the action? Again, why are they so scared at showing action in these? I don't know why. I don't know if their budget went out the window on making action scenes, which I don't really think you need much of a budget to do that, but whatever. They couldn't really, I guess, do much action. And then, so yeah, he does the whole cool badass scene where he interrogates them to figure out where Ellie is. And then, yeah, as you said, he just kind of shows up nowhere from the snow. No one in the village is there, and this.
Well,
no one in the village even notices that this place is on fire.
Yeah,
and is burning.
We get one cut of him walking through the storm, which again, the storm was another huge point of the game. I guess that's very gamey the way they did that because it limited your viewing of that. But the storm was kind of a point in the game, and it's here. I guess they don't explain that it's like crazy snowstorm happening outside. You get one scene of him walking through it, and then he shows up at the end.
Yeah, you know what'd been really cool? They cut it, so like, I guess maybe they killed all the guys. I don't know. I didn't really count how many guys were in that restaurant when they were all there as a community. So I didn't really count that. But they could have maybe brought that wife that was really pissed off that he killed her husband, maybe trying to defend the village, and maybe Joel in this dark world having to kill her. But no. We don't get any of that. The villagers all were just complacent and chilling in their homes, not noticing this fire in the restaurant, and not noticing any of the commotion whatsoever. And Joel just shows up, and he's like, "Oh man, I'm finally here, Ellie. Oh shit, looks like shit went down. Sorry, I'm here." I do think it's very weird, and it takes away like what the game did, because it was like him having to fight through this village, just like how she had to fight to escape. And then finally coming together at the last moment and everything. And I don't feel like they have that same feeling in this episode. Again, why are they making Joel so useless?
Yeah.
Or not showing Joel do anything. Like, they just show him doing something. Like, why are you so scared? And I'm guessing hopefully next episode, I swear, if he just magically does what he does and there's no action, I'm done, dude. I'm so sick and tired of this. Like, put some action into the show. People do like action. I know it's very crazy, HBO. It's almost like you made Game of Thrones, you made all these other things, and I know it's not HBO making this show. They are just, but still, like, this is an HBO show. And I feel like even Chernobyl had more action than this. So it's like, come on. That's not true, but still.
Well, I really want to drive home a point of how I feel like the Joel and Ellie relationship in this show, in this adaptation, is not on the same level as it is in the game. And that point comes at the end of this episode when Joel gets to Ellie and they embrace, and Joel calls her baby girl for the first time. It's a massive fucking moment in the game, and it's been massively built up throughout the game. And you watching Joel loosen up a little bit with Ellie and come to eventually love this little girl and everything that she's had to go through. When he gets to the diner and when he sees what Ellie is doing in the game, he pulls her away and he has just this complete and utter emotional breakthrough of how he feels about this girl, and he just calls her baby girl for the first time. It's the first time he said it since his daughter at the beginning of the game, or in this case the show. It's this huge revelatory moment as you as a player and as Joel as a character, where he breaks that emotional hardness of him and just embraces Ellie in this attempt to just calm her, just be there for her. And you still get that in here, but when that line came, when he finally said, "Oh, baby girl," I just didn't feel it. And that led me to think that the show just hasn't sold this relationship and what it means to Joel in anywhere close to the same way that the game was able to sell it. And that moment in the game, it doesn't bring tears to my eyes every time I play it, but I get hugely emotional to just see Joel finally break that hardened shell that you slowly watch Ellie tear down throughout the course of the game and the course of their interactions. He finally breaks it in his desperate attempt to go and save her, which she ended up, she didn't need him per se to stop David. She did that by herself, but she still needed him to be there for that emotional support. And like I said, when that line comes, when that huge line comes, I just didn't feel it in the show. And I talked to Peyton's mom, who her and her mom are watching the show for the first time, not even knowing it was an adaptation of the game. I asked them, I was like, do you feel that the show has done a good enough job with the relationship of Joel and Ellie? And she said straight up, she goes like, no, I don't think they really sold it that well, but like, you know, she doesn't have the aspect of what we know in playing the game and knowing the story so well. So even with someone who's not seen the show isn't fully on board with this relationship, because I just feel like you've said, they've spent so much time detailing out these characters that don't matter at the end of it all. And I think in that you have lost so much of that building of that relationship and that breaking down of Joel's wall, that when you get to this point, it's just not there.
And I feel like if they were going to, off the bat, focus on side characters, maybe they want to expand a lot of them, then you should have made this season a lot longer than 9 episodes. Because there's a lot to take in on this first game. A lot happens. And if you want to put extra upon that within story, when already this game has a lot of story by itself, you should have made this like a 13 episode season. Because 9 episodes just isn't enough to not only show these side characters, but also show Joel and Ellie. And I also just don't think, even in general, if they did do that, I guess, it really wouldn't work. Because then you're, again, focusing too much on side characters that really don't matter, that aren't going to be throughout the entire story, that only show up for these little, like, 1 episode things. And you're taking away from the main plot. It's weird. It's almost like Assassin's Creed Valhalla, you know? You literally are focusing. The way they built that game is they put the side missions into the campaign instead of just making its campaign itself, and that's kind of how this feels like. It feels like they shoved the side quests, where you get to learn more about these side characters, into the main story, so that you have to sit through listening to these random ass characters that you're never gonna remember. Well, you probably remember them, but they're not really gonna matter in the end, and that's where I think there is a problem now. Like, especially the first half of the show, they just focus way too much on side characters that really do not matter. Especially the Karen woman in 4 and 5 that literally has no fucking, like, it's just she's basically a Walking Dead villain. That's what she is. She's just this random woman that spites this one man and his brother, and that's it. And they focus like easily probably a fourth of each of the episodes. Almost, if you put them together, almost like half the freaking episode. If you put them together, it's insane how much they focus on that lady. and I don't remember her name because not only the game, which that's not the point, but I also just don't remember her because she wasn't really anything other than I want to kill these people because they killed my brother. The lamest ass plot I've ever heard ever. So,
well, okay.
yeah.
So I just want to ask you, you've only played the game once, and that's not me trying to give you a negative or anything like that. But you don't have as innately as a core love for this as I do. Did you feel that moment? Because it's like I said, the baby girl moment is a huge moment. Did you feel like the show earned that moment while watching it live, knowing that it's happening?
Not in that moment, no.
See, that's what I'm saying. Like, I just don't feel like they've earned it enough, which kind of lessens the impact that the story had on me as a player back in 2013, and then multiple times I played it through. I feel like they've lessened the impact through their want to broaden the story in a way, and I just don't fully get it. But all right, okay. So that's our deep dives for the episodes. I did want to pose a question here. I have it on the script. You've had time to think about it. We're one episode away from the end of this, so everything could change, I guess, in a way. But overall, and I'm not talking about, whether you think this is a good show or a bad show, because with all my problems I have, I still think this is a great fucking TV show, and I think people are absolutely loving this. We see that from the viewership. But as a fan of The Last of Us, as someone who's played through The Last of Us and knows the story, are you disappointed with The Last of Us on HBO?
What I think of this so far, obviously, I feel like kind of like when you read a book and they make a movie adaptation of it, you're always going to be somewhat disappointed in it, no matter what, because they got to cut things, they got to find ways to change things around. But this is a little bit different because it's a video game to a show. But obviously, do I think the show is as good as the game? Absolutely not. Like, nowhere close. I think the game does a lot of things way better than this show has done so far. But I think as just looking at it as the show itself and looking at it as the story that, let's say, I don't know about it, I don't know what the story is and I'm watching it. I think it's a good show. I'm not feeling like it's great, Like I'm feeling like it's good, it's enjoyable, but there are some things that, especially episode 3 and episode 3 and 4, honestly, I just feel like the whole side character thing, I think, is what's really hurt me in this show a lot, because it just took way too much time out of the story to focus on stuff that doesn't matter at all, and doesn't further the world, doesn't do anything. And so I think it's good. I don't know if I can say it's great. Maybe the last episode will change my mind. I don't know. But I'm really hoping this last episode's great, because I can't say I haven't really enjoyed the show. I have been really enjoying it. And I've watched a lot of these episodes multiple times because sometimes I have to watch it and then Amy has to watch it another day. So I won't say I've been bored watching any of these episodes. I've actually been very enthralled with it. I enjoy the cinematography. I enjoy the design of everything. I enjoy the actress that they pick, especially Pedro Pascal. I think he's fantastic as Joel. I know Ellie is a bit of a more it's Bella Ramsey, right? That's her name.
Yeah.
She's a mixed bag for a lot of people. Again, for me, I think the first half of the show I wasn't fully on board with her, which is the opposite of you. But I feel like towards the end now, I'm a little bit more on board with her. I think she's doing a far better job, and I feel like she's really gotten into character by now. So, I don't know. It's been a very weird one. I think whenever the show's fully ended, I'm going to really kind of try to combine and maybe write some scores for each of these episodes and really combine it together to see my overall thoughts of it. But I do think it's a good show. I think it's very enjoyable, and I still am very curious to hear some more opinions about people that have never played the game, to hear their opinions on the whole thing. But yeah, I don't think it's as good as the game. I don't think it even hits. It doesn't hit as close as it should, like the game, especially when this game is very heavily story focused, and I feel like they took away a lot of what the story was. So I don't know. What about you? What do you think overall? I guess you kind of already said you think it's great.
Well, yeah, I think the show is a great TV show. I think it's just taken as a TV show and not as, from a perspective of someone who knows the story so well. I think it's great. I'm sure people are loving out there. Like I said, Peyton's mom loves it. I did ask her that question, which she agreed with me, and well, she gave me the answer that I was fishing for, I guess. So, but overall, me as a fan, just my singular self, I am overall disappointed with this show. Like I said, objectively speaking, this is some great television out there. I think it really is. People who don't play the game or haven't played the game are probably absolutely loving this. But I just want to say, for some reason, someone who never plays video games is listening to this show. There's a better story of this exact story out there. And overall, I have been disappointed with this show more than I ever anticipated being. Now, like I said, the ending of this story is hugely important and impactful. I think it's one of the greatest endings of a story ever told, full stop, outside of video games, combining all different types of storytellings and how things come to a conclusion and how things end. I think The Last of Us is easily top 10 in terms of impactful endings and how well it's pulled off. So let's hope they get it all right. But I still don't think it's going to change. Even if they nail it, I don't think it's going to change my overall opinion on the show as a whole with one episode left. I'm just disappointed so far with everything. And like I said, that doesn't mean it's bad. Again, I think this is a great TV show. I just, as a fan, as someone who knows the story pretty innately, I am disappointed so far with the adaptation of the show.
Yeah, I mean, I can't agree with you more. I mean, especially with
it's definitely not okay. We can say it's not Halo. Like it's.
Oh my god, yeah. We don't. Dude, that is even anywhere close. Like, no one can compare that show to this, because this show is truly a beyond masterpiece if you want to compare it to Halo. I don't ever want to talk about that shitty show ever again. I still remember that conversation we had at GameStop that one time when I was down there, and that dude told me the ending of the show because I couldn't get through it because of how insanely bad the show was. Like, I tried to find something good in it, and it just got worse and worse. And I actually finally watched the ending of it, and dude, it's just as bad as that GameStop guy told me. So, yeah, absolutely awful. But no, yeah, this show is nowhere close to that. It is not awful. I do think this is a pretty dang close adaptation of the game, but obviously a good portion of it doesn't hit the same as the game does, because I also feel like there's a lot more time you get in the game with Joel and Ellie, with a lot less of focus on side characters. So, yeah.
All right, well, let's go ahead and end that here. Overall, like I said, if you're listening to us, this is still a great show. Still enjoy it. I hope you're enjoying it out there. But come back next episode, next week. We'll have the finale. It's only a couple days away at this point in time, so we'll tell you definitively what we think about the ending of this story. And definitely then we'll come back in and we'll do a super deep dive, maybe even bring in DJ and all that to the review and talk about him, because he also has not played the game. I think he's just watching the show fresh, so that'll be a way that we can bring in another perspective. But it is time now to move on to Around the Point, where we here at the Experience Point go around the video game world and give you the news that you need to know about. Number one on Around the Point, Square Enix has announced that they are officially replacing their president of operations after a controversial, you could say, 10-year run in which he introduced blockchain technology advocacy and a whole litany of things. This was supported by a bunch of different outlets. I'm reading from the IGN article. It says Square Enix has announced its intention to replace Yasuke Matsuda as president and representative director, pending approval of the company's annual shareholding meetings in June. Matsuda, who served as the president of Square Enix since 2013, will be replaced by Takashi Kiriru, who currently serves as a director within the company. In a statement, Square said that the decision was made to reshape the management team with the goal of adopting ever-evolving technological innovations and maximizing on the creativity of the company's group. If you want a short rundown of Mr. Matsuda's run on as president of Square Enix, First and foremost, recently it's been headlined by his $300 million sale of the company's prominent Western development studios, those including those including Crystal Dynamics, Square Enix Montreal, and Eidos Montreal to the Embracer Group, who has already made a significant profit on that sale, and also his insistence of blockchain technology being integrated with games development, going so far as to call it the future here at Square Enix. More recently, in his 2023 New Year's letter, Matsuda referenced blockchain 14 times, citing it as the new business domain Square Enix was most focused on pursuing. So it seems like Square Enix said, hell no, fuck off with that. We're bringing someone else in because we are done with you. And I don't think it's that vitriolic or anything like that. I just think he's taking the company in a way, especially in the past couple years, that the shareholders aren't happy with. So they're making a change here at the top, and we can only hope that the new president coming in later this year does exactly what he says, focusing on adopting technological innovations and maximizing on the creativity within the company as a whole. So, Mr. Logan, you have been someone who definitely does not love Square Enix as much as I do. You've definitely been rightfully so controversial or what am I trying to say? You don't like the blockchain like everyone does. So, and you've been hard on Square Enix for this guy going after that. But it seems like the company is saying, we're not doing that shit no more. Get out of here. So what do you think, man, about
Wait, so the new president that took over, anyways, he's a big NFT guy. He's not going to do it anymore?
No, he hates NFTs, apparently. And we haven't had anything.
That's wild. I thought I heard that he was absolutely in love with it. I thought we were supposedly like, they were getting rid of someone that likes the idea but has never worked with NFTs before. And then this guy has actually worked with NFTs before and kind of wants to. I don't know. I've heard a lot of mixed things about this guy.
No, so Yosuke Matsuda is the guy who is 100% on board with NFTs, and he's talked about it ad nauseum recently. He is being asked to step down as
the old guy.
Yeah,
not the old guy, but the previous president, but the new president's taken over. I thought he was pretty much the same, other than he actually has experience with NFTs.
Well, I'll have to look more into that, but according to what I'm reading here, that's not at all. He has said that his goal is, like I just read, to reshape the management team and to deal with the creativity within Square Enix and not focus on blockchains. I will, I guess, look up Takashi Kiryu. But yeah, Matsuda is the one that's been progressively pushing for NFTs and all that.
Yeah, I guess so. But as long as, honestly, my one thing about this, as long as they don't actually put it in their actual games and they want to do it as a side venture, personally, I don't care. As long as they keep making good games, you know? I can't say that even though they talk a lot about NFT stuff, they haven't really done anything to their mainline games with it to the point where I can dislike them. Because they made a lot of some good games recently. I think especially a year or so ago, the underrated game of, in my opinion, Guardians of the Galaxy. I love that game. I haven't really seen them it affect their mainline games, so I can't really say that I really care, because honestly, as long as it's not affecting their mainline games, I don't really care what they do. They can do NFT stuff all they want, as long as it's not put into their games, I could care less. That's how I feel.
Yeah,
because I just don't want it in video games. Like, if you want to do it as a side thing, maybe with old projects and etc., do what you want. But like, I just don't want it to be put in games. And I've heard some things about this guy actually having, supposedly has more experience in the NFT market. And I thought that's why they were changing to this new president, because they basically doubled down on the whole NFT thing. I don't like NFTs. It's probably many people that do listen to this podcast every so often. I really hate NFTs. I think they're really dumb. I do think they are mostly a scam. because they basically tried to plead to people that NFTs actually have value, when in reality, unless you have someone that wants to actually purchase it, therefore these digital products do not have any value whatsoever. And they try to get you on this dream of making riches off of these digital products. So I don't like NFTs for that reason, because it kind of are a scam. They're a scam in the idea that they keep telling people that they're going to be worth millions, when in reality they're worth jack squat. And I just don't want them in video games. I don't.
Yeah, like
I don't
you
want to
said.
spend $100,000 on a fucking weapon skin because it's got SpongeBob SquarePants from the original thing as a sticker on it, and I don't know. It's just super dumb. And that's compared to another game that got announced recently, that Midnight Society shitty ass Doctor Disrespect game that's coming out. The game, literally, the whole thing is built around NFTs, and I won't support that. I won't. You know, that's one thing I actually I almost don't even want to talk about it because it just doesn't deserve it at all.
Yeah, apparently he went on a rant to on one of his live streams about how everyone's wrong about NFTs and he knows what's up. So
yeah, tell your consumers that they're dumb.
Yeah,
that's really gonna get them to go get it.
I mean, maybe it will. I don't know. But wrapping back around to Square Enix and the new president, I hope this guy doesn't advocate more for blockchain integration. But as you said, they've been talking about it since 2020 now, and we haven't seen a single one of it in the game. So who the knows? I just hope they focus more on the innovation within their games, because I do like Square Enix properties. Obviously, I love Final Fantasy. I like some of their smaller JRPGs that they do. And they hold a special place in my heart for my childhood. So I just hope and pray that nothing bad happens. So I guess that's
I hope so too, but I guess we'll see. Again, yeah, I mean, they haven't done anything yet. That's the key word.
It's always the key word. All right, going on now to number 2 on Around the Point. Dead by Daylight is apparently getting a movie adaptation, as reported by Variety. The film adaptation is going to come from Atomic Monster and Blumhouse, two powerhouses in the horror movie industry. They're teaming up with developer Behavior Interactive to create the film, though haven't shared any details outside of it being an expansion of the Dead by Daylight universe. The film is also likely a few years away, but Atomic Monsters' James Wan and Blumhouse's Jason Blum have stated that they are searching for a director and screenwriter for the show. Yada, yada, yada. Anyway, James Wan is a hugely impactful person in the horror movie industry. If you don't know, he did the Conjuring movies and the Insidious movies. Weirdly enough, he also directed some of the Fast and the Furious movies, which is a weird outcrop to know about. But he's very good at scaring the shit out of people. So, but mostly I want to say I didn't know Dead by Daylight was still even a thing that people cared about. I'm going to be honest.
It's still very popular from
That's
what
crazy.
I can tell. Yeah, I think it's the only one of that type of game where it's like the I don't know what the name of it is, but it's where one person basically plays as the monster and everyone
Asymmetrical
else plays
multiplayer.
Yeah, so it's easily one of the most popular, other than probably Friday the 13th when it came out. Easily one of the most popular, and it's still popular to this day. I still know some people that play it, so it's actually pretty good. But I don't know how they can make a movie out of it. That's something I'm curious about, because it's basically just a multiplayer game with no story. So I don't know. That's weird. Maybe they're just trying to make this weird fan service movie where they're gonna have a bunch of different villains from a bunch of different horror movies in it, and make this weird kind of fan service fan film using the Dead by Daylight license behind it. Possibly. I can't wait to see those generators get fixed.
Yeah,
that's what the movie's going to be about.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know.
I've never played it, so I can't judge. So yeah, I don't really know.
We'll have to talk to DJ about it, because DJ and Worthy both played Dead by Daylight and they seem to like it. But I don't know. We're getting a lot of adaptations, and like I've said before, I don't think there's a problem with that. Some of these will probably work out, some of these won't work out, a la Assassin's Creed movies. But anything done by Ubisoft probably isn't going to work out for the foreseeable future. But I don't know. I like horror movies. I like James Wan as a director. I've watched a lot of his stuff, so I'll be interested. Granted, he's not directing this; he's producing it, but still got his fingers in it. So I'll be interested to check it out when it does come out. Hopefully it's good. Hopefully it doesn't suck. But if it sucks, we'll let you know. All right. Number 3 on Around the Point, Hi-Fi Rush and Tango Gameworks have announced that they have surpassed 2 million players since the launch of the game. There's not a whole lot to go on. They just announced that, and I want to say congratulations to Tango Gameworks. Congratulations to Microsoft for allowing Tango Gameworks to make this game, which no one saw coming. They did a great job of keeping it a secret. Probably the best job in the recent memory of keeping something a secret. But yeah, I think this is really cool. It's great that people out there enjoyed it. I know Logan played through it very quickly. He really, really loved it. And it's good to see teams be able to stretch their legs creatively. And I hope this is a bastion for other producers, production companies, to allow their development teams to go make passion projects. Because sometimes it works out well. What do you got?
Yeah, no, I'm very happy about this. This game is it's actually really, really good. If you guys ever have time to play it, I think this game is very worth it. It's still one of the most surprising launches of this year, in my opinion, because obviously it was, a shadow drop, and I really love it. I think it's a very, very fun game, and it's very kind of unique in the sense where it has this very rhythm-based combat with like a Devil May Cry. And it works insanely well, and especially when you get into the beat, it's so much fun. Yeah, I mean, if you guys have Game Pass, trust me, go get it. Heck, even if you don't have Game Pass, totally worth the purchase, dude. $40. This game is a steal for $40. Like, I'm telling you, it is that good. If it wasn't on Game Pass, I would even recommend it for $40. It's so good.
I mean, definitely being on Game Pass has helped people jump right into it. I think this is a shining example of why Game Pass is good, or something like Game Pass is good, is it gives people a barrier-free entry to try something out that maybe, that you're looking at and you're like, I don't really want to spend $40 on what could be a great game, or I may enjoy. This gives them a risk-free, barrier-free entry to jump in and try something out, and they seem to like it. So I guess that's a good story.
Speaking of good story, I got some packages in.
What packages you got? Oh, PC stuff. Yeah, gotcha.
No PC stuff yet. I actually got a Elden Ring strategy book through the mail.
Oh, and, okay.
Dude, this thing is thick. It is.
Is it a beefy boy?
Cool. It's a beefy boy, man. And it even comes with this really huge map. And it's pretty damn cool. I also got this little thing for my Steam Deck, a little Steam Deck case from D-Brand. If you ever heard of the Kill Switch case, I got that as well in the mail. That's why I left for a second there.
Oh, okay. You're good.
I noticed I got some packages at the door.
Well, speaking of stories that I think is cool, number 4 on Around the Point. Let me set this up a little bit for people out there who may not know this website at all. But PowerPyx is a very well-known, probably the number 1 well-known trophy site, PlayStation trophy site. Well, there's no one else that has trophies, but PlayStation site and guide out there on the internet today. They write guides for almost every single game that comes out, the best way to go about getting these trophies and achievements out there. And they made what can only be considered as a very unprecedented move. And they canceled the guide for Atomic Hearts. This coming directly from PowerPyx's community. They say, for anyone waiting, Atomic Heart Trophy Guide is canceled. The game is a miserable experience and has a lot that makes it frustrating to do guide stuff. The map for the game is terrible, and there's no good way to even list everything with the Horde map. Some trophies aren't tracking, and there's no way of knowing if something is glitched or not supposed to track. Areas aren't named, and there's no in-game tracking or anything to be able to make sense of it all. It's just a mess. A case of poor game design plus really frustrating glitches that make it a chore to play. Now, this is something that I know Logan did not like the experience of Atomic Hearts, but I think it's even crazier that a site that has never said anything like this and has written guides for all sorts of games have deemed this game essentially unplayable in a way, or untrophyable, if you want to confuse that statement again. So, what did you think about reading this? Did you look into this any more than I did? I looked into it because I thought it was fucking funny as hell, and also really sad for the people who made Atomic Heart and the people who are enjoying Atomic Heart out there. But crazy story, man. This has never happened before in the history of this website. Like I said, there's a very prominent website out there especially for trophy hunters like myself and just PlayStation people in general. Wild circumstances. What do you think?
Yeah, that's pretty wild, to be honest. Like, I'm a little surprised because, like, I feel like this isn't any more different than a lot of other really annoying games out there that come out. If this is their first time, that's even more surprising. I will say, obviously, this game is a miserable experience, especially from my point of view. If you want to listen to my little rant of what I thought about the game, I think it was episode 40 or maybe episode 39 that I kind of went on a little rant about how extremely disappointing this game was and how much of an effort I tried to put in just trying to play it and not having fun at all with it. Yeah, no, this is very surprising. It must be that bad to get through the whole thing. I don't know. I got maybe 4 to 5 hours into the game and I said, I'm good. I'll pass. Get it, Game Pass?
Oh
Pass.
my god, shut up. I hate you. I fucking hate you, you freaking dad. Your dad in waiting. But anyway, yeah, so it's... I mean, I think it's funny, but it's also really sad to see a game that we were all fairly excited about here. Logan way more excited than I was for the game, but it just doesn't make any sense at all how you can fuck something up this bad. And this is coming almost strictly from the trophy hunting aspect of it, or the trophy guide aspect of it. And essentially, like, the game does nothing to help you out at all. And even for someone who are essentially masters at doing this stuff, the fact that they can't even figure out a good way to do it is perplexing, to say the least. And I don't even know if there's a way back up for Atomic Hearts. Heart. Is it Hearts or Heart? It's Heart. Atomic Heart.
Atomic Heart. Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. It's I don't know. It's honestly kind of a sad story.
Yeah, I just don't know what they were doing and who thought, like, especially with some of the ideas they put in this game, who thought they were good and enjoyable. Like, who play tested it and like, dude, this is so much fun. Like, I don't know who played it.
Correct me if I'm wrong. I've heard news out there.
It's as disappointing to me as the Callisto Protocol was.
Oh,
That's
damn.
how disappointing this is.
Correct me if I'm wrong. There's no run. You can't run in this game, can you?
I don't think you can.
How can you not?
So you can't run. You have to build all your guns. Okay, I'm gonna get too much into rant this. Dude, it's just I just don't get it. Like, the way that this game was advertised, the way it was showcased, the way they did everything, it looked like a game that was like a fun, not super serious shooter, you know? I know some people compared it to BioShock, but I would also almost compare it to, like, I don't know, like, not Serious Sam, but like a Duke Nukem or a Wolfenstein or something like that. And that's kind of the vibes it gave me. It looked like a fun shooter, but it's not. Because everything that's fun about a shooter and everything that makes a shooter is not in this game. Because instead of giving you ammo and this action-packed shooter game, no. We're making it like a survival game. You barely get any ammo. And you can't run. And the combat feels very sluggish, especially on console, because especially on my Xbox platform, the way they released it was very just juddery and weird, and supposedly pre-patch it was better, and also their patching that they did to this game was god awful, where you had to basically re-download the entire freaking game on day one. So the whole pre-download thing was a waste of time. It made no sense at all, because you basically had to re-download the game anyways, and it still came out broken. So yeah, I don't recommend it if you're into shooters. But if you want to have a miserable time, even for people that do trophy hunting, then you do you, you know? I think, again, this game is visually impressive, and if the visuals can get you through the game, then there you go. It's probably a great game.
Like I said, man, I was excited about it. I was thinking about giving it a try sometime, not at launch, but then I watched some of my more trusted reviewers, and especially that Skill Up review. If you have not watched the Skill Up review for this game, he destroys this game at like a molecular level. He just fucking goes in for about 28 minutes. It's a good watch, comedically speaking, but it's a sad circumstance to see a game that I think a lot of us were excited for out there fall on its face this much. Yeah. Moving on. I think if I could type properly. Yeah, moving on. Number 5 on Around the Point, as reported by Bloomberg, Drayson Schreier. According to a report from Bloomberg's Drayson Schreier, sorry, I said all that wrong. Warner Brothers has delayed the game. Oh my god, I screwed this entire thing up. Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League appears to be facing another delay. According to a report from Bloomberg's Drayson Schreier, Warner Brothers has delayed the game from its May 26th release date. This comes shortly after fan backlash from the gameplay shown during the most recent Sony State of Play. However, as Schreier noted, delays like this are mainly for polishing rather than overhauling the gameplay elements fans aren't fond of. His exact tweet is, "For what it's worth, a delay like this is mainly for polishing, not to overhaul the core gameplay that caused the backlash. Suicide Squad started off as a games as a service and will remain one, short of a complete and utter reboot, which would require a much longer delay." No word yet on the next official release date, but there's also some people saying that this delay comes because they're trying to get out of the way of some of the other bigger games releasing during that time. So what do you think, Logan?
Wait, so when was it originally supposed to release?
Sometime in May, which is like right around, Breath of the Wild. That's not right. Tears of the Kingdom and Final Fantasy both come out in May. So,
oh yeah, this game would have been obliterated. There was no way. Yeah. I don't know where people might think that they're never going to fix this game or change what they have. There's no matter what delay they have, it would take them literally years upon years to completely change this game. So they're clearly not going to change it. They've already put a ton of years into making this game. There's no way they can they could change anything about it. It is what it is. It's what's coming out. And yeah, I don't care if they polish it or anything. It's still going to be the same game at the end of the day. And it does not interest me. Especially after that PlayStation showcase, that really put the nail in the coffin. Dude, that looked awful. Like, just really, really bad. And it's sad to see especially doing a disservice to Batman. That's what really sucks. Especially when, this isn't technically in the Arkhamverse.
Which still confuses me. But
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, we talked about it in our reaction last week to the State of Play. The game just simply looks like again, not a terrible game. Like, graphically speaking, it looks fine, but it just looks, mechanically speaking, like a game that none of us want from this studio, from this franchise, from this style of game. We've already gotten this. We've gotten a superhero live service game. And while I may have enjoyed it for what it was, and I may have put a lot of time into it, I'll never once say that the game is a great video game. It's just simply not. I may have found enjoyment in it just because of it dealt with characters that I really liked, and I kind of liked the basic gameplay loop. But yeah, this is definitely an out. It's definitely not anything that I'm going to play. Going so far as, little spoiler alert, this was the game that I was planning to counterpick, Logan, but I backed out of it because I just don't know how reviewers are going to respond to this game, or how they're going to review this game. I may still throw it in there. I don't know. Don't steal it, you little bastard. But
I mean, I can't. I already got my 2 picks in.
That's true. So I just.
But even, I don't know, man. I feel like it's still gonna get in the 70s.
Yeah, that's why I pulled out of it,
because I feel like any of these type of games that ever come out, they always at least get in the 70s. Like, didn't Gotham Knights, it probably even a worse game in general than probably this, get like a 70 like just in the 70 or 71 area.
I don't
So
think so. Gotham
I can't remember what
Knights 69.
okay.
And
So
Marvel's
you
Avengers
might
got even
just
lower.
get lucky to get some, like, I don't know.
And
It's very
and Marvel's Avengers was a 68. So
68. I still feel like this is somehow going to get in the 70s. Not like high 70s, but I feel like it's going to hit just that border of like 70, 71. Somewhere in that area.
yeah,
But who knows?
Anyway, I think it looks like shit, so
It does. It does.
that's all I have
Indeed.
to say on that. So, all right. Number 6 on Around the Point. Not really much to talk about here, but I just want to let everyone know that the PS5 software update that comes included with Discord integration is now live. It went live yesterday, I believe, as a time of recording this. So you can now get on there, link your Discord together with your PlayStation account, and communicate on Discord with your PlayStation account. Overall, though, I did some diving into the different features that are in this update. It's a really, really, really good update. Brings a lot of convenient features to the PlayStation 5. I guess technically also to the PlayStation 4, but mostly to the 5. And yeah, it just works really, really well. There's a lot of good stuff in there. I haven't found any negatives with it so far. So, for those of you guys have been waiting for Discord to come to your PlayStation, it is now here. Still not in the way that I would prefer it to be. Complete and thorough integration throughout the entirety of the OS and the system, but maybe we'll get that fairly shortly. But Logan, did you do any deep diving into some of the things that happened here, especially with like the way that the game cards work and the way that information is presented to you on the main screen?
I didn't see anything about the cards, but I did look at the I do like the new little icons when you're looking at games. It tells you how much time you put into the game, and I guess what the flagment is, if you completed the game, you get like 100%. I guess it tells you that. I don't know if that was for trophies or just for beating the game.
No, so the
I
game
didn't look it up.
completion is it uses the card system to know at what point in the story you are. So it'll tell you how far through the story you are. That's not trophy completion. Trophy completion is now its own separate card system right below the name title. So that game completion is how far in the actual story you're through, which is really cool. Which is how I know I'm 53% done with the story for Horizon Call of the Mountain. So I think that's actually really cool.
Yeah, no, I do like that a lot. And then also, obviously, Discord actually officially being in there is great. Kind of like they did the same thing where they started with Xbox, where right now, it seems like it's more that you have to use your phone or another device in order to transfer it to your PlayStation. But soon, I'm sure they'll do just like what they did with Xbox, where they're going to integrate it into the party system where you can literally just click on the Discord button and then choose what group you want to join, and it's much easier and it doesn't deal with another device. So until then, that'll be even nicer. But still, I think this is great no matter what, because in my opinion, dude, I've used this a couple times already and it works insanely well on Xbox. And I love it, and I'm happy that it's a feature now, and I'm happy PlayStation is a part of it now too, especially if I want to play Call of Duty. I don't have to deal with the shitty ass game chat. We could just use Discord and we could all play together through there, and that is much better than what they had before.
Yeah, you just have to deal with me actually playing the game.
Yeah, when you do. But it especially is just great because like Discord now being on everything means you can literally talk to people on any device and play the games that you want to play, and I love that. I love that a lot because I hated when people on PC that I like to play with that I had to like have a phone with me to talk to them on Discord, and I hated that. And so with this feature, it makes life so much easier. And I mean, again, I've used it with a ton of friends that I know that have a PC, and it works insanely well. And most people don't even notice that you're playing it on Xbox. I have to tell them sometimes. They're like, "Oh shit, you're using Xbox to play Discord?" I'm like, "Yeah, that's a new feature. I love that." Other than that, I guess I still think it's a little weird that supposedly 1440p didn't have I think VRR or something like that. I think that was another thing they added, but I guess they have that in here now. I didn't know that wasn't already a thing when 1440p came out, but hey, now it is. Anyways, I don't really game on 1440p on my console, so I don't really know. But other than that, yeah, little good update. I do think Discord is a huge win, in my opinion. Again, hopefully they update that more, and hopefully on Xbox and PlayStation, they just straight up make it an app on there.
Yeah,
that would be
honestly,
way better, but
the lack of Discord integration is probably the main reason why, for weird reasons, someone got left behind during the Outriders experience that Logan and I had, because I did not feel like going through that scenario. But so yeah, I guess if Outriders came out today, we would probably play Outriders all the way through. Like
yeah, and now if we play any other games that are cross play, then we can use Discord.
Yeah, it's like you said, it's not fully where I'd want it to be, but it is a huge step. And some of the other things that come along with this update are really cool. Like, for example, say you download a PS4 game or you reinstall a PS4 game onto your PS5, it automatically checks if you have a cloud save data for that game, like when you upload it to the cloud, and it'll let you know if you do, and you can immediately download it like that, so you don't have to physically go and get it yourself. So just little eases of use and things like that, making the experience of PS5 OS significantly better in my eyes. And I think the card system is finally coming to it into its own. Eventually we'll get there, I guess, in a way. So all right, our last story, that's a lie, second to last story, Starfield has gotten an official release date. Everyone keeps saying it got delayed again.
Which makes no sense.
Yeah, because
we didn't have a release date.
It got delayed to 2023, but they never set an official release date. And now they finally
getting upset about it, and I'm like, what? Like, they didn't give us a release date. People, that's not a delay. They delayed it, yes, to this year, but they didn't give us a month. I guess people assumed a month, and they said, oh, that's when it's coming out. Anyways, they never stated officially from Starfield. The Bethesda, themselves did not say a date in this year until now. So that's not a delay. That's them giving us a release date. I hate that people are so dumb sometimes. I'm sorry. But come on, guys. Come on.
Well, I guess technically when the delay first happened, they said, it'll now release in the first half of 2023. So I guess that's where people get, but that's still dumb. I don't like that. So anyway, Starfield now has an official release date set for September 6, 2023.
Around my birthday.
Really?
Yeah, it's around my birthday. I mean, it's not September 6th, it's September 2nd, but
still. I thought you said on your birthday. I was like...
Dude, if it came out on my birthday, that would be pretty hype.
But anyway...
I'm very excited for this game, and especially with the new PC I'm getting, I might be playing it on there. So.
Yeah, the best and brightest. But anyway, yes, officially September 6, 2023. They also announced that we'll be getting a Starfield Direct on June 11th, right after the Xbox Games Showcase, which I guess is now confirmed for also June 11th, the Xbox Games Summer Showcase. So we have all that to look forward to. This announcement came with a new trailer for the game. Did you get a chance to check that out? I'm sure you did. What do you think?
I actually didn't get to see the whole thing. So I seen a little bit of it, and it looks like more Starfield. I don't know. I don't think it really did much more for me other than them showing more of the planets and everything. I don't know. I mean, I am getting more excited for this game because I know I'm going to enjoy it one way or another. I mean, heck, I liked Fallout 4 quite a bit, and I know that wasn't the most, it wasn't the best of the Fallout games, but I really enjoyed that game. So this game looks very good, and I cannot wait for it to come out. And honestly, I'd much rather them delay it than release it broken. So... rather than take their time and make a good game. Yeah, I guess I did see this whole trailer. It doesn't really show much more than just showing off some planets. And it looks pretty damn good, in my opinion.
Yeah,
I'll probably be playing this on PC because I don't know if they're even going to have 60 FPS on console, and that kind of worries me a bit. So, I mean, heck, I will, hopefully, by the end of this month, have this PC build, and I can play this game by that time.
Well, I'm playing on PC, so... But yeah, no, I cannot wait. I'm very excited for Starfield. I hope it lives up to the hype. I don't know if it can, because the hype is fairly high. But let's hope it's just generally a fantastic video game. Alright, our last story on Around the Point. Hogwarts Legacy has been delayed one more time for PS4 and Xbox One players out there. This comes from word of the Hogwarts Legacy Twitter account, in which they said, "We're overwhelmed with gratitude for the response of Hogwarts Legacy from fans around the globe. The team is working hard to deliver the best possible experience on all platforms, and we need a little bit more time to do that." So now Hogwarts Legacy will officially launch for PS4 and Xbox One on May 5th, 2023. There's also no mention of the Nintendo Switch version in this post, so it appears it's still on track to release on July 25th, 2023 somehow. They plan on getting this game on there.
Dude,
But
I can't wait to see it. I'm still interested to see what it looks like.
so yeah, about a 1 month delay. It was originally slated for April 4th. It'll now come out, like I just said, on May 5th. So yeah, what do we think? I mean, I'm sure on PS4 and Xbox One they can get this running. But yeah, I still don't know.
Nintendo is going to be a really interesting thing to see, because like, yeah, I know they could probably get these running on there at like 30. Clearly that's probably what they're going to be running at, but I know they could probably make them run easily on, not easily, but they can get them running on there. But yeah, Nintendo Switch is I really want to see it. I just want to see how bad this is. Like, it has to be like 180p at like 24 FPS, because like I just want to know how this is going to run on a Switch. Because this game, even on a Steam Deck, by the way, a Steam Deck, which is as strong as a PS4, struggles. So I would love to see how it looks on the Switch.
I will say, if they can get Hogwarts Legacy on Switch running close to 720p, around 30 frames a second, there is emphatically no excuse for Pokemon.
Yeah, honestly, it honestly would be the biggest burn if this game does run at 720p and 30, and it looks good.
Well, I don't think there's any shot in hell this game looks good on Switch, but I guess if they can get the resolution down,
looks better than Pokemon, which isn't really much of a competition. Yeah, I'm really happy Amy got the Series S, because she would have been mighty upset by this news if I didn't expect them to push it back again. I'm sure a lot of people that have an Xbox One and PS4 right now that were very excited for this game are going to be mighty mad, because I think especially a lot of people that do have those systems probably don't even know about this delay, because some people didn't even know that the PS4 and Xbox One version was delayed from the original date. So now they're going to be extra disappointed when they're not focusing on the news and they notice it's been delayed again. And they think they're going to play it on the day it was announced to release the month before. I just want to know why. Like, they have the game built. It's really just a matter of getting it run on there. So why does it need an additional month? It's not like this game hasn't already been released. So I'm a little confused on why they need to delay it. But
well, I mean, we saw a perfect example of why they need to delay it. It's called Cyberpunk 2077. Just make sure it's right. If you can get the frame rate down, regardless of how the game looks, people are gonna be okay with it. If you can get that frame rate,
solid 30, easy. Like, well, not easy, but just do it.
Because I go back to it, man. My friend, Eric, platinumed Cyberpunk 2077 on a PS4 Slim. So people are willing to play games out there in not their best form and not the best state. People will do it.
I mean, you beat Pokemon, so, and Pokemon clearly isn't in a good state either.
Yeah, I put 80 hours into Pokemon.
20, so. Yeah, solid 18 to 20 FPS.
I got used to it after a while, I will say.
Yeah, I feel like the more you play, you get used to it, but you know, it still is. It's up there with Cyberpunk on brokenness.
So I'm just asking.
I still don't get how he did that. He's honestly a gaming god. I don't know how he did it.
Let's not say that.
But dude, like the pure what is it? Patience, I guess, to sit through and play Cyberpunk 2077 at like 20 FPS is got to be painful. And to get a platinum, dude. Honestly, these people that were saying that Atomic Heart was a pain, I can't imagine playing Cyberpunk and playing it 20 and getting a platinum on it. That's crazy. I'm still just baffled by that. I really want to hear his opinion on the game too, because he must have obviously absolutely loved it in order to beat it at 20 FPS on a PS4 Slim. with the empty streets and polygon civilians.
I think it's twofold. I think it's one, like you said, you just really, really love a game and love what it is. And two, you just kind of don't care, you know?
Yeah,
Like
I guess that's fair.
we talk about all the time how we are the hardcore of hardcore out there, so we care about that kind of stuff. And I would say the
I mean,
vast
I guess
majority.
I can't really judge because I think for sure if you go back and look at like PS3 and Xbox 360 games and what we used to play, and just be baffled by the fact that like I was playing Far Cry 3 on the 360 and I absolutely love that game, and that game was running at like 20 FPS. Like,
well, yeah, but
constantly.
in that
And that's wild.
In that example, we didn't know any better. We didn't have anything else.
I guess that's kind of the same for him. Like maybe he doesn't know any better. I don't know.
Well, we love you out there, Eric, and we have no clue how you persevered through what you persevered.
You're a true hero.
Yeah, you should get a medal. All right,
yeah. Give that man a medal.
That brings us to the end of Around the Point, guys. If you have anything to say out there about some of the things we talked about, do you think Square Enix will be in a better place in the coming years? What do you think about Atomic Heart and PowerPyx going head to head? Also, are you excited about Starfield, and are you going to play Suicide Squad? Kill the Justice. I couldn't remember what the title was when it comes out. Let us know down below what you think. Also, don't forget, let us know what HBO The Last of Us is doing for you out there. Does it tickle your ball sack or not? We're gonna go in now to Let's Talk Reviews, also known as LTR. We only have one game to kind of deep dive into here. The rest of the week was kind of uneventful. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to LTR. This is Let's Talk Reviews, starting with our one and only deep dive, that being for Wo Long Fallen Dynasty. The game has an 82 on OpenCritic and an 81 on Metacritic. Here's what some of the reviewers had to say. Push Square gave the game a 9 out of 10 and said, Wo Long Fallen Dynasty is an excellent action RPG that offers an even more hardcore take on the increasingly popular Souls-like formula. It's fast, frenetic, and hits like a truck, with one of the most mesmeric combat systems we've ever had the pleasure to master. It might scare off more casual players, but those looking for a challenge, well, you can stop looking. Games Radar gave the game an 8 out of 10 and said, ultimately though, no matter how many times you stare into the eye of the tiger, what counts mostly here is, well, the thrill of the fight, rising up to the challenge of your rivals. When you meet the largest and most fearsome foe head on, remain steadfast and push aside their best combo like a martial arts master before spearing them through the gut. It's irresistibly exhilarating. Wo Long's cocktail of measured inputs and furious blows alone should keep the focused warrior going to the end. Keep calm and parry on. The Gamer gave the game a 5 out of 10, the single lowest score recorded so far, and said, Wo Long Fallen Dynasty is, at best, a serviceable Souls-like. If you enjoy Nioh and Sekiro, it's a fun bit of filler, but it's derivative and bloated, serving as a highlight reel of previous Souls-likes while missing the point of what made its inspirations and even predecessors unique to begin with. So, I know as a newcomer to the Soulsborne genre, what do you think of Wo Long?
So I've heard a mix of good and bad. I've heard, obviously, the one thing that made, as soon as you said it, the last one where you said it's like a Sekiro, I instantly checked out because Sekiro does not look good at all. And basically, this is like Sekiro, but you actually can mess with more weapons and stuff, and I guess maybe multiple builds. I didn't really look that deep into it, but I just don't really care for the Sekiro style of combat. It just seems very one-sided, and you can't really. I guess I've been very much what's the word? I was given Elden Ring, and I feel like most of these games now it's really hard to get into because Elden Ring did something that I don't think any of these games will get close to for a while. I don't know. It just didn't really catch my eye. I also heard that there's these really annoying hitbox issues where sometimes you're clearly way out of the way and they still can hit you. And the thing about these games is, yes, it's hard, but it's fair. And when a game isn't fair, then it's not fun. And I've heard a lot of things about this game being very unfair. And a lot of things where it's like hitting you at moments that you shouldn't be getting hit. And that's where I especially start to check out, because Elden Ring did a phenomenal job of making it fair, but also hard. And that's why it's enjoyable. And this seems the opposite. And also, it's Sekiro style, and I don't like Sekiro. I don't want to try Sekiro because Sekiro does not look fun at all. I don't know why people like it. I guess they just love an exceptional, insane challenge, and it just doesn't catch my eye. I also like builds, and I guess this game does have builds in it. I don't know. I didn't look that deep into it. I do want to try the Neo games at some point, though, which is their other games.
Yeah, that's not odd, I guess, per se, because you have your own opinions and it doesn't matter. But all your opinions matter, but like, you know what I'm saying. Anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Sekiro is, I mean, it's From Software's probably second most beloved game outside of maybe something like Bloodborne. I mean, it's the first game they won Game of the Year on. So there's a lot of people who love Sekiro out there. So I think this game, if that hits that,
I think if you like that, then you love it. Like, that's fine.
Yeah,
I'm not
yeah,
saying people
true.
are wrong for liking it.
But like we always talk about, some of these other studios, while they can get close to From Software, nobody out there is From Software. From Software is the king of making these games, and they continue to prove it with each and every release that comes out. Elden Ring, probably the next Elden Ring, whatever it is. Armored Core is a different experience. I don't think that's... I hope people are ready for what Armored Core is, because it's not a Soulsborne. That's not what Armored Core is.
And they've already
so.
said multiple times, people, it's not a Souls-like.
Yeah.
Armored Core is Armored Core. Never played one, so I don't have a single clue of really what it is, other than it supposedly is a very difficult and very in-depth. Haha, got you there, Mike. Mech game, from what I could tell.
Yeah, it's crazy,
you
the
heard that.
customization. You can literally customize, just like the different mechanical components of it's insane, the depth of the customization system.
I gotcha.
You got.
I said it.
All right, the rest of the week, not too
Yeah.
much going on,
proud.
but I am proud of you. I'm very proud. I'm like a father seeing
Thank
his
you.
son throw a touchdown pass.
Yes.
All right, the rest of the week, Dead Cells Return to Castlevania came out on PS4, Xbox, Switch, and PC, and got an 87. Monster Energy Supercross came out on pretty much everything under the sun other than the Switch, and got a 75. Fatal Frame Mask of the Lunar Eclipse came out on next-gen consoles, last-gen consoles, Switch, and PC, and got a 71. And that's your week for you. Wasn't too much going on out there outside of Wolong. We're definitely slowing down a little bit. We're not getting 3 or 4 games a week like we were at the beginning of the year, which is nice. I have some breath and some time to go back and maybe play some Call of Duty, but probably not. But get done with some of the other things that I want to play. Getting ready for Resident Evil at the end of this month, and then after that, I don't even know what I'm going to play after that. Oh yeah,
Yeah, maybe Call of Duty.
probably not.
Come on. Call of Duty.
You sound like a freaking...
No, let's be honest. When this PC's built, man, I'm gonna be gone for like a month. So I don't know if I'm gonna be playing a lot of consoles. Well, I could download Warzone on there, maybe.
You can indeed.
Yeah, I might.
Free to play, as some would say.
Yeah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, out this week is where we go through the games coming out this week. Again, not a huge week, but there are some things that should tickle you. On March 14th, The Legend of Heroes Trials. Yeah. Trials to Azure on PS4, Switch, and PC. The Wreck on PS5 for Xbox Series X and S, Switch, and PC. On the 15th, Woken, Lords of Mayhem on next-gen PS5 and Xbox Series X and S. On March 16th, Anno 1800 on the next-gen PS5 and Xbox Series X and S. Dark Pictures Switchback VR on PSVR 2, which I'm hearing good things about. And then, closing out the week on March 17th, Bayonetta Origins, Syriza and the Lost Demon on Switch, also known as a game that Worthy stole from me, the little bastard. And then WWE 2K23 sees its release on PS5 for Xbox Series X and S and PC. So Logan, what's up with The Wreck? I see you looking at it.
Not what I was expecting. It's a visual novel, single player game, and I guess it's about a wreck that happens. Yeah, that's what I'm getting from it.
The only one I'm excited for is Dark Pictures Switchback VR.
Yeah, which again, I think it's really weird that that game wasn't showcased at the PlayStation thing, because isn't it a PlayStation exclusive VR game?
PSVR 2, yeah.
Yeah, so why wasn't it showcased at the VR thing?
Well, probably
They
because
didn't even showcase it.
they focus on new quote unquote games.
That is new, isn't it? Yeah, it is. That's
Well,
a
no,
new game.
they've showed it before. It's been talked about before.
Is it?
Yeah,
Oh,
we all knew it was
I
coming.
don't
Well,
remember. Oh.
some
I
of
mean,
us
we knew
knew
it was
coming.
coming, but I don't know. I guess I don't remember seeing it at a showcase.
I
So
mean,
that's why I thought it was weird.
it's an on-rail shooter set in the Dark Pictures anthology universe, so very similar to a game that was
The other one.
Yeah, the original VR that was.
Wasn't it Until Dawn?
Yeah, it was Until
Whatever it
Dawn.
was,
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I heard a lot of good things about the Anno 1800 game. It's been on PC for quite some time. I don't know much about it other than it's a
RTS.
it's RTS, yeah, style game. So yeah, I mean it looked kind of cool. That's great to see it come to console. I always like when some of these. I think they always should try to port strategy games over to the console because people on console do like strategy games sometimes.
Just the controls are hard to get on there. So.
Yeah, I'm sure it is very difficult to do that, but it is always cool to see them come over because I mean, especially like I guess the only game I play, and I know it's not nowhere close to this because this seems probably a little bit more in depth. Is that 2 Point Campus game? Because that game is probably the only game I played recently that's kind of like not RTS, but more like a city builder style type of game that I played, and I really love that game. I want to get back into it, but I have so many games to play. So, but that's it. That's all I got for this week for me. What about you?
No, I'm good. I might check out Dark Pictures eventually, but definitely not this week. I have 3 games to play now that I'm done with.
What
Hogwarts
games
Legacy.
you get?
What for VR? I haven't got anything else left.
Oh, you just have the. Okay.
I plan on playing Star Wars and both Moss Book 1 and 2. Well, I've played Book 1. I plan on buying the combo pack so I can get Book 2. But those are the 3 games right now, and then also I want to go back, beat Dead Space Remake, and then maybe jump in and finish up a polish off Fire Emblem. But for right now, that's all I'm looking forward to till Resident Evil. And I said Resident Evil is not going to be a quick playthrough because I'm going to be playing it with Peyton, so I only get to play it a couple times a week. But definitely something that I can't wait for. So I love that game, as you all know out there. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, this brings us to the end of our show. Everyone who has been watching or listening, we just want to take this time, as always, and thank you from the bottom of our hearts. Without your support, we could not be doing what we're trying to do here at The Experience Point, but please help us to continue to grow by telling everyone out there that you know who has the slightest appreciation for all things pop culture, that they have some new friends waiting to talk all sorts of fandoms with them. We would greatly appreciate it. Mr. Birdman, any last words?
As always, thank you guys for stopping by. I hope you guys did end up enjoying this kind of different kind of episode where we kind of did a little bit of a mix of our normal with a live reaction to a showcase. If you would like us to do more of those, or maybe you have any opinions on how we could do it better next time, comment down below. We do appreciate that. We do want people's opinions on it and maybe to better ourselves with this podcast. But as always, we do appreciate you guys stopping by for every episode and maybe giving us a like and a subscribe. We're trying to build up our subscribe account so we can get it up to 200 so we can start doing community posts and all that. But other than that, I would also like to shout out our Patreon Platinum member, Logan Leffler. We do appreciate your support each and every month. Of course, you do not need to send us money. We just want you guys to enjoy our content, stop by, join our community, and give us a like and subscribe. Or maybe if you didn't like it, give us a dislike. But other than that, you guys will hear me on the next XP podcast.
Once again, thanks everyone for listening and following along with us. This has been another episode of the XP Podcast brought to you by all of us here at The Experience Point. I hope everyone has a great week. And as always, we'll see you on the next one.
See ya.